Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, folks. Whoop, 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 whoop. There we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome back, my space friends. I always say that my space friends, and it makes it sound like I'm saying my space friends. If you still use MySpace, welcome to the podcast. We don't discriminate. But today, it is actual space friends. I'm joined here on the Launch Sequence podcast, your lovely weekly space game discussion, with Croncy, my man. Podcast regular, the ginger monster, the man, the myth, the legend, the shoutcaster. Welcome to the show, dude. Welcome back, actually. How have you been?
Yeah, been fantastic. It's been good to be back. We're starting to get into a very busy quarter of the year for Star Citizen, and so it's awesome to be back here.
Yeah, this is like the opening gate for the second half of the year. I guess, yeah, second half, last quarter, whatever you want to call it. Like, we have gone through a few months of relative silence when it comes to Star Citizen, which is the main topic of today's show. But like, even outside of Star Citizen, we've got so much stuff going on just in the video game world in general.
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy, right? We've had several games in the last couple of months come out that are big contenders for Game of the Year. Another one coming out in 4 days. It's a good year to be a PC gamer. That's for sure. I guarantee you.
It really is. And I feel like the last few years we actually haven't been able to say that. I mean, I guess I don't follow gaming that much outside of like the space games and sci-fi stuff. I feel Elden Ring came out, and Legend of Zelda came out, and like a few other, maybe not AAA titles, but titles that people really love have come out recently. But this year is like heavy hitter after heavy hitter. I mean, I think Zelda actually came out this year, right?
Yeah, early this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been pretty crazy. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, have you played any Baldur's Gate, which I guess is the most recent big one?
If you look at my streaming history of the last month, I think I have played and streamed more Baldur's Gate 3 than I have streamed in the last 3 months. It's a good game.
Dude, I'm so happy for people who like that kind of game. It doesn't personally fall in my wheelhouse, but I know what it's like, man. Like, you get into a game and you get like the first half hour in and you're like, oh boy, it's gonna be a good year.
Not only that, but like I'm a massive Dungeons and Dragons fan.
Okay. Huge
Dungeons and Dragons fan, right? So this was something that I was excited for a very long time. I played the early access a couple of times through. And it got me so excited to the point where I just messaged like last week all of the players that I used to Dungeon Master for, and I'm like, all right, well, we're doing a new campaign, it's happening, and I've made a new city, and here's a bunch of lore and this stuff. It gets me really excited to play that sort of stuff again, and I'm very grateful that it means there's going to be a lot of people coming into the Dungeons and Dragons space from it as well. So
yeah, it's
just net positive around.
That's like the coolest part, really, is that it's such an established IP that you've got like all these people who are super diehard about it. There's tons and tons of stuff to get into if you're brand new, and then like the diehard people can come back to it with sort of a fresh kind of take, right? Like Baldur's Gate 2, how old is that one?
I think we actually mentioned this on the last podcast that I was here with you. It came out in 2000. Baldur's Gate 2 came out in 2000.
Yeah.
It was, for reference, the current edition of Dungeons & Dragons is 5th edition. When Baldur's Gate 2 came out, it was based on 3rd edition. So it just completely skipped like 23 years and a whole edition.
Praise be, dude. A new game in the lineup. Yeah. And to come from something like old BioWare, rest in peace, BioWare. We don't know what's really going on over there. They just laid off more people. I'm nervous about the next Mass Effect, but like to come from a game from old BioWare and then get this much praise for it, I feel like like you can't be matched. Super. I'm pumped for them. I'm pumped for you. That's exciting. I hope Starfield is as big a game for us in terms of space fans as Baldur's Gate is for like D&D stuff.
Yeah, and I'm hoping it will be, right? Like, so I am still primarily just in my life more of a space fan than I am a fantasy fan, but I love both. And a sentiment that I share with a lot of people that have told me, that they're keen for the game is that, it hasn't really felt like we've had a space game like this that we can sink our teeth into since Mass Effect 3,
Yeah.
which was like 2012,
Yeah.
right? So
An
hasn't
actual
hasn't really
decade.
been anything like that.
Seriously,
Yeah.
such a long time. And somebody had a really good metaphor on my Discord server I saw earlier today,
Mm.
and they said that Starfield is going to be like the pace car of the space game hype wave that we're getting into, and I love that idea because it's like Starfield might not be the super specialized simulation game you're looking for, but I feel like it's going to be a great kind of like general driver of hype and interest around those types of games that'll help other things like anything from like Elite Dangerous to Star Citizen to hard space Shipbreaker to kind of see more people get into those niches, and that's exciting. I will confirm I am currently playing Starfield. I was able to get a preview code, and it was like it came at the worst time for me because we were doing this whole out of town thing, and I had to go and like
Yep.
try to download the game on hotel Wi-Fi. We spent like a bunch of money getting hotspots internationally, so we were like trading
Yeah.
off phones and everything. It was miserable, but I am very excited to start talking about that one in earnest in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully, you can come back on and share your own opinions about that too.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be great. It's good to see so many, big names in the Star Citizen community like yourself, Morphologist, Astropub, get these review copies. Because, at least from my perspective, like I will be playing day one, but I, want to hear from people that have been playing space games for all these years about what they think about the game, right? So I
Yeah.
really like that they've been doing that. One thing that's been very curious to me though is I don't even know a streamer who hasn't gotten like a free copy of the game at the
They
very least for release. There's so many copies,
Yeah.
and all of these people would have bought it 100%.
Yeah, or Game Pass. Maybe
Yeah,
that's
true.
what they're like. All these people would have just been on Game Pass. Let's just get it out there. But yeah, they are in like full on marketing hit. Like their Twitter has been popping off every day for the last couple weeks. They've been putting out trailers. They've got like Todd Howard doing the rounds. Pete Hines is up on places answering questions, and like they're sending out all these review codes super early. It seems like they're really confident, and they like want to get a lot of press out there really quick, which is, I think, a good sign for the game.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't do this level of marketing unless you were confident with the release, right? I would assume,
Yeah,
because it would only be detrimental to you if every single person that you gave a copy to or whatever was suddenly saying that the game's garbage. So
just like the hype
yeah.
builds, the embargo ends, and just everybody is crapping on the game. It's like a worst case scenario. Do you think?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think this crazy marketing push is like part of Microsoft's doing?
Possibly. I mean, when was the last big Bethesda release? It was Fallout 76, right?
Well,
Um,
I feel like they wanted
probably.
it to be Redfall, but that didn't.
I don't think they put as much effort into Redfall, at least marketing, not necessarily game design, but at least marketing, that they did with this.
Or
Because
wait.
Bethesda.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
yeah, at
Redfall was
least-
Arcane, right? My bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Well, either way, yeah. Like Bethesda as a game dev studio feel to me a lot like Rockstar, where it's like, or at least nowadays, it's like we're going to get one large game from you a decade, probably. And so they want to make sure that people are playing it. They're going to put as much investment into it as they can, so that they can then release Starfield 7 more times over the course of the next 10 years.
I want to play Starfield on my augmented reality glasses, please. Thank you. Like everything that possibly could come out in the next. Do we have what's that new folding TV briefcase laptop thing? I want it on there. Something from Gamescom or something. I don't know. Yeah, I think it also is kind of detrimental to them because now people just keep comparing their releases to Fallout 76, and you're like, well, that's not that's not what they're good at. Like that just
Yeah.
wasn't a Bethesda game. I mean, I no offense to people who love it. I've heard it is a good game. People enjoy it. Had a rough launch, but
Mm.
like when it comes to Bethesda, I don't think about Fallout 76 for what makes their games good. And luckily, unlike other studios like BioWare we were talking about earlier, a lot of the Bethesda team is still around from their older stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very interesting. I think one thing that's sort of important with that regard as well is just like because Fallout 76 comes up all the time, right, in the discussions, because it was really bad, as in like the effects of the game and what happened was really bad. Not
Yeah.
necessarily the game was really bad. And it sort of just like absolutely backfired. But it was, it was a mix of different things, right? Like it was the actual people working on Fallout 76 were more or less new studio people. The idea of the game was incredibly different to anything they'd done in the past, other than just what the IP was. And so it was kind of, if things were going to go wrong, it was going to go only very wrong.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I don't think I don't think you really make the comparison with that. The more appropriate comparison is Fallout 4.
Right.
And yeah, so yeah.
Or like you said before, I mean, I'm really gonna just keep probably thinking of Mass Effect 3, like the Mass Effect
Yeah.
series in general, as my bar for where this game should be. And it's a decade old, so it's kind of hard to do that. But like as far as gameplay and sort of expected experience, I feel like Mass Effect is still the standard bearer. As you said, it's like the last big
Yeah.
space game we got. Was that a big one for you? Did you play through the whole trilogy?
Yeah, so I back when we used to borrow video games from the store,
Good
I
old
had like
Blockbuster.
bought. Yeah, we had one in Australia called Video Easy, was like our equivalent essentially. And I went to Video Easy and got Mass Effect 2. I hadn't even played the first one, but I got Mass Effect 2 and then played like 40 hours of that over the course of like 2 weekends.
Yes.
And then I was like, all right, I'm hooked. I'm going to, first off, I think I then rented it again and played it for another 40 hours. But eventually, yeah, went through the whole trilogy. One of my favorite series of all time, for sure, especially in terms of space game, my favorite series of all time. And yeah, I was absolutely hooked. It also sort of got me onto the idea of the more RPG heavy video games in general. Like, I don't think I would have played Skyrim if it wasn't for Mass Effect,
I get
because I
that.
knew that it was a bit more, decision heavy and what you do actually matters and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you big in space games before Mass Effect?
I was like 12. So
I mean, Star Fox, man, the epitome of space games.
True. I think my favorite game before Mass Effect, and actually probably still my favorite game of all time right now, is Final Fantasy X. But so still a bit more in the story-based, RPG style of game. But Mass Effect was just such a game changer that it sort of completely changed how I wanted to play games and all the games that I chose going forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, I feel like Starfield could be in that same position for like a whole new generation.
Yeah.
Because we haven't seen another one, Mass Effect Andromeda. I'm sorry, but I don't think that really counts. Like, some people really loved it, but it wasn't the tentpole that the genre needed. Did you like that game?
I tried to get into it. I think I played 3 hours and then put it down. I was just like, I'm gonna go get a refund. But I'm just like, I didn't like hate it, but I was kind of like, this is taking too long for me to get excited about. Doesn't have the same pull as the original trilogy did. Go play something else.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I beat it, but the fact that I can't remember is very telling to me, and it's actually kind of disappointing, man. I really hope that they can get back on course with the next one.
Yeah, very daunting for a story game for you to not remember the story.
Yeah, man, that's just not good. I actually don't know if I beat it now that I think of it. That's not great. I don't like that. But yeah, so Starfield's coming out this week. Baldur's Gate just came out. A lot of people I've seen excited for Armored Core 6. Is that on your list?
It was almost on my list. So before 320 came out, I was supposed to be taking a week off this week in preparation for Starfield, and also the fact that I just played BG3 for so long. And then as part of that, I was like, I might check this out finally, because I've seen lots of good things about it. I like the idea of mechs, but I don't know, I've never played this style of game before. Don't know how I'll like it. I'll give it a go while I've got time off. And then 320 came out on, for me, Saturday morning, or Friday morning. So, no, I don't think I'll be trying it for a bit now. I don't know if I have the time, unfortunately.
Yeah, man. Gosh, it is. That's a good problem to have. Let's be honest. Like that's I love it. What else is coming out this fall though? I know we're missing something else.
There's a new Spider-Man that's coming out, I believe.
Okay.
Which unfortunately only on console, so rip me. The only console I have is a Switch. But I did play the original Spider-Man, and that was fantastic.
Yeah.
Huge fan of that game.
Great series. And somebody mentioned in chat Phantom Liberty, Cyberpunk DLC.
Yeah. That'll come out at quite a nice time actually, because I feel like I'll probably have finished at least one playthrough of Starfield by the time that comes out. And then it's like, I'm going to be in a bit of a Starfieldy mood. I'm going to be in a bit of a space mood. Time for another Cyberpunk run through. I've only done one full playthrough, and it was after all the majority of the bugs had been fixed.
Right.
So that'll be an interesting one for sure. Have you played much Cyberpunk?
I have a fun history with Cyberpunk, man.
Okay.
it was almost like, I would say it's not quite at Starfield level, but it was up there in terms of like hype for me. I've been a huge Deus Ex fan. I love the Cyberpunk genre. I wanted to see it kind of explode, like blossom. And I was like, okay, this game comes out. Other companies start to see the success. We start getting more Cyberpunk games. Maybe they announce the final part of this latest Deus Ex trilogy. Like, we could see a new rush with this sort of game. And then it came out, and it was a good game for some things. I think as a full-on RPG experience, it fell short in some places, and then obviously with like the launch problems it had, it really took the wind out of the sails. But they've stuck with it. They've done a decent job bringing it back. I still don't think that it is as stable as I'd like to see. I still have some problems. I started a playthrough like 2 months ago, and I've definitely been enjoying it more. I've gotten more interested in like building my character out and making money and checking out quests and paying attention. I like slowed down. And it's been a better game, but I'm excited to see what they do with this whole 2.0 update. You don't have to buy the DLC to get it. They're kind of redoing a lot of the gameplay. So I'm interested to see what that is, and hopefully it is more along the vision of kind of what they wanted to sell with that first game. I am all in on that IP moving forward, because like I said, it's Cyberpunk, and just like with Starfield being sort of a tentpole for space, it's nice to have another AAA game that's doing the same for that genre. So I'm excited for it. I don't know if I'm going to play it as much as something like Starfield, but definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's really telling, though, specifically that there's been, a few games that have come out in the last couple of years that have been completely based on tabletop RPGs and have more or less crushed it. Like Cyberpunk obviously had a bad launch, but afterwards went like fantastic. And I'm hoping we kind of see more of that, right? So Baldur's Gate 3 and Cyberpunk both absolutely crushing it. Starfield isn't based on a tabletop RPG, but from what I've seen, lots of inspirations from tabletop RPGs. Yeah.
RPGs in general, just we're eating well. If you can transcend the genres, RPGs are feeding, and it's good. Somebody else mentioned in chat here, City Skylines 2, which is not an RPG, but shoot, that's an impressive looking. Like, I don't know if you ever played are you into city builders?
I used to be. I don't think I've played one since like SimCity in 2013 or so.
Okay.
So it's been a while since I played it. But once again, a game that I've heard tons of really good things about.
Yeah.
So I could be convinced to give it a try again. But once again, there's just so many games. Like, there's also 2 other games right now. So the Expanse Telltale games has started coming out once a week. I've been playing that because that's fantastic. It's the first time I've played a Telltale game, but I love the Expanse, both the books series and the Amazon series. And then there's also like there's Sea of Thieves updates coming out right now as well with the Monkey Island crossover. which is only coming out like once a month, but that's still also a bunch more stuff that I want to do. But it really is hard to gauge just like how crazy the second half of the year is.
Yeah.
Because we also haven't, like, Diablo 4 technically came out like in like what, May, June. That's almost second half of the year. This has it's been insane.
And then, like somebody mentioned, Everspace 2 came out recently from early access. We've got Homeworld 3 is like kind of floating around in the background. Falling Frontier, I don't know if you've looked into that RTS game in space, also sort of peeking its head up from the ground, like, I'm ready to come out soon. It's gnarly, man. There's it's a lot of stuff going on.
No Man's Sky just had a massive update as well.
Right, yes.
Like, in addition, like, yeah.
It hurts. It hurts.
Yep.
It's a good pain. Somebody else asked about Ashes of Creation. I've never played it. How about you?
Yeah, I've not been following it, other than every single person saying that Ashes of Creation is a scam, which it's nice to hear people talk about other games as scams.
Share the love.
That's always fantastic. So yeah, that's a game that I'll probably just wait to see on, because I always loved World of Warcraft, but I haven't played that in like 4 years now.
Okay.
So, see what happens there. Once, it gets a bit more traction and people start telling me that it is good, I'll give it a try. But not keen on following it too closely.
That's fair. Yeah, it is like, man, I'm excited.
Yep.
But enough about other games. Let's talk about the goods. The stuff that you said came out Saturday morning for you. Star Citizen 3.20 is in the PTU, and boy, oh boy, I think it's more exciting than a lot of people were thinking. We talked about this like a month or two ago, and we came to the conclusion that this was going to be a pretty solid update for a certain type of people, but now it's out, and I'm seeing a lot of excitement for what people are seeing, even from people who weren't originally excited for like Arena Commander. Let's dive into the details of this one. What's your opinion so far?
Yeah, I came into this patch expecting it to be, I think I said on the podcast last time, I expect it to be a patch for people like me that are really keen to play stuff on Arena Commander and, get into racing and do these new unique modes and stuff.
Yeah.
But I originally thought for the majority of people it's going to be an extremely minor patch. And then everything I'm hearing from people is they're absolutely loving it. People are having a hell of a time, regardless of what kind of player they are. And I'm one of those people. I've been having a great time. The Arena Commander modes are fantastic. I have played so much Gun Rush, which is such a classic of the like FPS genre.
Yeah.
And I've played it in so many other different games, but it just feels nice to play in Star Citizen. It very much felt like playing Halo 3 with my friends back in like 2006 or whatever. And so that was really nice to feel. The master mode stuff, unfortunately there's some bugs in it at the moment that have made it a bit hard to test, but at the very least, being able to see how CIG want like the maneuverability of ships to kind of feel like in the future has been interesting. But there's, that's one of those things that has, tons of testing in the future. It's been really good to be able to do tank battles and it not take an hour and a half to set up. That's been quite nice.
Especially coming from the tank battle maestro here.
Yeah. I've done quite a few tank battles in my day. It feels nice now that all I need to do is, get into a group. So that's good. And then the stuff in the PU is a bit more impactful than I originally thought. So first off, the Hull C exists now. It is there. It is buggy as all hell, but hey, it's wave 1, wave 2. That's what we expect. But the extra things that have come with it, like the extra sized cargo containers, which we now have like 9 variations or so on, or maybe it's a little bit less, 7 or something, and having them be in salvage missions, having it actually impacting you moving the cargo. Now you don't have to move like 400 boxes, you're just moving 20 or 30. That's quite large, so that's quite good. And then in general, the PES stability has felt quite good, because this is the first brand new build patch, if that makes sense, since 3.18, because 3.19 was on the 3.18 like, not hardware, that's not the correct word, framework,
code base.
Yeah, code base. Yeah. So this new code base, and it looks like they've done a good job. At the very least, Wave 1, Wave 2, PES has been working quite well. So it's been a fantastic 2 days. Let's hope it continues.
I was gonna say, like, it's dangerous to have a good 2 days in Star Citizen. Then it hits you with just a bad week. So let's talk. I got called to prayer in the background. You guys know the drill. Let's talk a little bit about the Hull C and the cargo updates, because I actually haven't really seen much about that. Do you remember specifically what sizes they've added?
Yeah, you tested my memory. I think we have the 1, obviously, and then I think it's 2, 4, 8, 16, 24, 32. I believe those are the box sizes.
Okay.
And all of those, at the moment, can be handled with the tractor beams, the regular handheld tractor beams, which, they told us a couple of months ago that temporary measure until we get, like tractor beam rifles and ship tractor beams, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's been quite cool. The Hull C itself, I don't think they gave it enough credit when they showed the ISC on the Hull C of the interior. The interior design just feels so nice, so clean, very utilitarian. Like, practically no space is unused, which is exactly what you want for a ship like that, right? Like, we're not in an Origin Hull C here. We're trying to make sure that every part of the ship is getting used. Yeah. So they did a really good job with that. And they've also got like a lot of spots that you can tell are supposed to be used for like future mechanics, like engineering, and the spots for fire extinguishers and stuff, right?
And it can dock, right, with stations?
Yeah, it came with ship to station docking. The only sort of complaint I have about with the whole Hull C thing is just the way that we have to load and unload cargo at the moment. Firstly, it's a little bit buggy, so it's my opinion of it's a bit skewed. But you essentially have to dock with the station, store your ship, buy cargo, get your ship back out, and then fly it to a specific location in space, which all just feels like 5 steps too many sort of thing. And it is, I believe they did say, this is supposed to be a temporary solution, but they've put a lot of work into this temporary solution. So I don't think it's that temporary. But it's obviously extremely early days. Once again, it's been 2 days. So
yeah.
Yeah.
It is really nice though. Like you said, the interior of it, when I saw that ISC, I was freaking so excited to see what the inside of it looked like, because all the shots that they showed, like the elevator shaft section looks so nicely detailed. It looks like the nicest interior I've seen in the game in terms of just like the construction of it. And it sounds like you might be confirming that. Is there anything else that compares?
I mean, not really. When was I guess the Corsair would have been the most recent ship that we got that had like a fairly decently sized interior.
Yeah.
And I guess at least in terms of how much detail they put into it, it's pretty comparable. But it just looks more polished because it's Misk versus Drake, I guess. But yeah, and then the funniest thing about the Hull C is everyone complaining about its shape, which is very funny. It's Misk. I mean, when the company that makes those shapes for all of those ships makes another ship of that shape, why are you surprised?
Y'all seen the Freelancer, right?
Yeah,
come on.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's we like our silhouettes. We're super mature gamers though, we're never gonna point that kind of stuff out. No, of course. We're not gonna use salvage lasers to cut inappropriate shapes into other ships. We're above that.
Yeah.
Don't worry about
children in public. Anyway.
The different sized cargo crates, are those spawned and or used outside of the Hull C?
Yes. Yeah, so the whole system it has the different size cargo crates in mind. So let's say you get I'll use like a Hercules as an example, and you buy 2 SCU of waste and 4 SCU of scrap and 8 SCU of whatever it is. It will provide you those boxes, and it will also, like, if you buy 237 SCU of something, it will calculate what is like the least amount of boxes that I can make and put in your cargo grid. And so that's been really cool too.
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been good.
That is definitely, I think that kind of stuff is like right on the line of what we were wondering. Like how much are you guys actually doing with the cargo update? Because it's been a little soft, the information. They haven't given us any like exact statements. So that's nice to hear that's going on in the PTU. I wonder though, when we do finally get the tractor beams, because they've talked about how they cut it off based on the size of the box. But I also wonder, because they've talked so much about mass, if it's going to actually be mass related. Like, can I lift 32 SCU of feathers with my handheld tool? Do I need a ship tractor beam for that, as opposed to like 32 SCU of water or something?
I think at the very least, what they should do, just for ease of not overcomplicating it, is just put like a hard point of like up to 8 SCU you can use your handheld. After that, you've got to use your rifle or whatever. Because they've talked about it's all about mass, but size matters a lot in this regard as well, right? So just I hope that they're just like,
don't
we're
listen
not going
to
to worry
kids.
that
don't obsess over size.
Not worry. But just make it like, we're not going to worry about, well, actually weevil eggs weigh half a pound versus titanium or whatever.
Well,
because it's just pedantics at that stage.
But then it gets kind of fun, right? Because like, what if you're like on a moon and you're loading your ship and it's all good, and then you get to like a full-on planet where gravity is higher, and suddenly you can't unload your ship, and it's like, crap, I need to go find a bigger tractor beam for this, because suddenly everything weighs a ton more.
Tomato, you might be the only person in the world that wants to be punished like that. That is,
Oh no, I'm hiring people for that. I'm not going to get punished. I want to see other people get punished for it. I'm just going to be sitting in the back laughing and explaining it to YouTube, going, look at this simulation. I won't be touching that. No. I just want cargo haulers to suffer.
I do wonder though, because we could see the case of maybe eventually, once we do get the the tractor beam rifle or whatever, that maybe 32 SU boxes can only be ship tractor beams. I do think that is a real possibility that will very much change the dynamic. I mean, already the dynamic has changed in 320 in that, if you want to do piracy or you want to do salvage, like for cargo, you're not taking a Cutlass Black anymore. Well, that's what a lot of people were doing before, because you only have to worry about the 1 SCU crates. Now, if you're finding, a 32 SCU crate of really any material, because that's just a lot of stuff and it's usually going to be worth taking, that's not fitting in your Cutlass. So it's that whole thing has changed completely. It's interesting.
Yeah, we're going to start seeing a bunch of pirate hull Cs. Y'all are going to have to update your paint, CIG. I want a hull C with a skull and crossbones on the side now. Or just let me paint it, please. What is how big physically is a 32 SCU box? You said it doesn't fit in a Cutlass Black. What would you say is the smallest ship you think it would fit in?
It is literally 32 times the size of a 1 SCU box. Like, they're very accurate size-wise. So
I have no real
I think they're
headspace to visualize that.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe a 1 SCU box is 1 meter cubed.
Yeah.
We've got DJ Bunton in chat. He might know the actual answer.
It's like 1.25 meters, because they actually calculate the thickness of the casing too. It's a lot.
Yeah, so a little bit larger than a meter cubed. So you're looking at quite a large box, right? And it is longer than wide, obviously. So, I don't even think you can, based on the size, I don't even think you can fit it in the door. But I would have to try again. But the length is more the issue.
Oh man. See, now this is where like the immersive stuff starts to come in, and you come up with a way to attach the 32 SU box to the top of your cutlass or your Pisces even.
Yep.
Just using your Pisces as a little transport.
Just hanging out the back of the boot with the ramp down as there's like half a 32 SU container about to fall out.
It is the next version of Does It Fit? I love it. More mini games for the SC community. Lovely. All right. So the Hull C is finally coming to the game. I feel like that's kind of a highlight. Maybe Arena Commander is kind of the highlight. What's the performance like in Arena Commander from what you've seen? Because that is, I think, one of the biggest things everybody is interested in knowing. Like,
there he is!
How is, like, are people going to be able to actually play it now?
Yeah, it's a bit. So, unfortunately, I can't. There are no Australian servers yet in the PTU, so it's really hard for me to accurately sort of say how the performance is because I've got a 300 ping everywhere. But at least in terms of like frame rate and stuff, the FPS missions were pretty solid. The old maps for the FPS missions were fantastic, and performance was great there, and everything was working real nice. The tank battle locations worked mostly okay, but we were getting a lot of crash to desktops. So hoping we get some fixes for those in the next PTU patch.
Okay.
And the every racing arena that works, because there's a couple that aren't working at the moment, but every racing arena that works was fantastic, outstanding, 100 out of 100. So yeah, for the most part, it's been really good.
And I would guess like server stuff isn't really going to matter too much right now anyway, since it's such a small population, but frame rate stuff is, I mean, if we could just get good FPS battles, like you said, being able to set up things like tank battles and stuff without doing an hour of setup and then 20 minutes of gameplay, that's such a big change for Star Citizen in terms of like how easy it is for people to jump in. Even if you're coming up with something like earlier in the year when like there were just 30Ks all over the place in the PU, having a good arena commander feels invaluable now for that.
Yeah, not only that, but the like just how quick you're able to get into these servers as well is pretty important. Like if I load into the PU right now, like on the PTU, we'll say, just for the comparison, it'll probably take me like a minute of loading to get in. Arena Commander takes maybe 5 to 10 seconds. So it's just like, it's super quick to get in, right? Which once again makes sense. You're not loading as many entities, but the point is you're getting into the action pretty quick.
Yeah.
So I think we are going to see a lot of people playing Arena Commander, especially because of all these new modes. But yeah, just it's been working mostly nice.
Still think that could end up being a standalone game at some point. Give us that.
Yeah, when are we going to see it on Steam?
Yeah.
Arena Commander on Steam.
Just call it Battlefield 2142 2. I'm also, like you mentioned, what is it called? Gun Rush, they call it in their version?
Yes.
That is, gosh, that's such a fun game type. And I would say that Star Citizen's weapons don't quite have the interest that, for me, the game of choice in that instance is Super Fiesta from Halo. And like Halo is up there, like top 5 games of like weapon feels and fun of using weapons. So I won't say that it's going to be the same experience, but just being able to go through that kind of like fun type of game and run into people with different weapons and stuff sounds like hours of wasted time if it runs well.
Oh, for sure. I mean, one of the best things about it is like, you start off with your pistols and then you move on to SMGs and then LMGs and stuff. But the last like 4 or 5 weapons are so drastically different and hard to hit with that it actually makes it really not nerve-wracking, but you get really anxious trying to get those last few kills as people are running past you at insane speeds and you've got to try to kill them with an ATSCAV, which if you've tried to snipe anyone with an ATSCAV is already hard enough. You usually have to get like 3 or 4 shots off of them, but then you're rewarded right with like a railgun or whatever. I think the ATSCAV might be the last one, but like those last few guns, it makes it a lot of fun. There is a nice little Easter egg about what the or at least just like fun thing about what the last weapon in the mode is, which I won't spoil, but make sure you guys go out and play that one because that is a fantastic weapon.
That's fun. I will ask this: did they tease it in an Inside Star Citizen episode?
They did, but I don't believe they showed it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I look forward to checking that out then. Any other highlights in Arena Commander? I've heard that like it's snappier and the UI is nicer. Is that something that popped out to you?
So brand new UI and lobby system. So at the moment we still can't do like a private lobby. We can do kind of like a semi-private lobby. But yeah, much easier to navigate, a lot more current, I guess. The old system, it was just old. It felt old.
It felt 8 years
unpolished. Yeah, exactly. So it's a little bit nicer in that sense. My one complaint about it would probably be sometimes images are too big. Like sometimes I do just want either no image or a smaller image or something, just a little bit. Like I'm not 97. You know what I mean? I don't need to zoom in that much sometimes. But other than that, that's been really good. Yeah.
And this is going to be good for you. I mean, you are one of the shoutcasters of a lot of the events that take place. Fighter flights coming up.
Mm-hmm.
That does that take place in Arena Commander, or is that in the PU?
PU still.
Okay.
Because usually we try to not do events in PTU if possible. Yeah. But like I said, we're still kind of semi lobby anyway. It's we can't go yet. Hopefully it'll happen soon, but we can't go yet. We just want these 4 people in this mission or whatever it is. Random people can still join. So
when you say semi,
we want that removed first.
Do you just mean like people can join into a party together, but then their matchmake?
Pretty much, yeah. So you can create a lobby, but then other people can still join your game from their matchmaking. So if you completely fill a lobby, like let's say you're doing a gun rush, I believe the maximum amount of people is 12. I think you can get 12 people in your lobby, and then if you do hey, let's play a gun rush, yeah, it's only going to be you guys. But
okay.
If there are any open spots, then at the moment, other people can get in. And I know that they have the intention of bringing in private lobbies, like full 100% private lobbies.
Yeah.
Just not in there yet. That's all.
Man, I really hope if anybody in chat can confirm, maybe Bunton, I do hope that they're trying to get that in for live, but maybe that's something they have to do for a later update because private lobbies would be huge. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Gosh, that'd be great. That's like I think the most important thing people were hoping for. And it's a bummer that it's not there, but it sounds like they're on the way.
Yeah, and then for us as well, spectating is like another big one that's currently not in there, but like another one that they're trying to get in, which will also, once again, help with a lot of events and whatnot, as well as just like, it's always kind of cool when you see like, oh, hey, here's 2 really, really good, PvP dogfighters. I can see that they're fighting. I just want to go watch what they're doing, sort of thing. So
yeah.
Once that comes in, it'll be good.
Oh my gosh, and the machinima that people are going to make. Not only is it like you can get cool spectating cameras and stuff, but it's also in Arena Commander, which means it'll be a lot smoother, better frame rates, and all that kind of stuff. It's just exciting, man. That's good stuff. Let's see.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
I am looking to see what else is in this update that I'm missing. We got some mission stuff.
So the Rastar stuff seems to be so for those who don't know, they essentially put all of the current like underground bunkers into the Rastar system, and you won't notice it as a difference, but it is important that it happened, and those sort of things happen in updates a lot, and so it's always good. But yeah, so that's an important one.
It's a lot like building block stuff. They'll be like, oh yeah, we turned over the whole menu to building blocks, and you get in there and you're like, oh, it looks the same. But it's good for them going forward and kind of the ability to update it further. Did you check out any of the other locations, like the Crusader platforms, or I think there was something else?
They're not coming in 320. So the Crusader platforms aren't coming in 320 flat.
Okay.
They got pushed, I believe, to 320X, possibly later. I'd have to double check the roadmap roundups. Did check out Seraphim Station though. Yeah, that's another big one, right? So goodbye Port Olisar. Hello Port Olisar, essentially without pads. When they first showed us the appearance of it in the ISC, I actually thought they did a pretty good job paying homage to Port Olisar and its rings and whatnot. And despite what people say, on the outside, it does in fact look very different from every other low Earth orbit.
Really?
Or low planet orbit station. It does, yeah. The rings make it look very different. There's there's like a style of part of the architecture of the other stations that doesn't exist, and you can tell, and it makes a big difference. The thing that isn't different is the interior, which is really boring. And I am desperate for new station interiors.
Yeah. That's hurting, man. Like, there have been such long-lasting problems with space station interiors. Like, this game already kind of, I think, has struggles sometimes with scale, because the things that were around are really big, and sometimes you can't really get that. But the space station interiors have got to be like the worst part of it, because you get on approach with this massive station, you go and you get on board, take this elevator into the thing, and then you're basically like stepping into somebody's living room, it feels like. And like, they raise the ceilings a little bit, but overall they feel so small, and I get lost constantly.
Yeah.
I would love to see
I would
different.
I would love to see, like, maybe, we know that these are modular, these stations,
Right.
which is why when we had the refineries come out, and when we had the Lagrange stations come out, like, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, that they were quite different in general, and the positions of stuff were different. What I would like to see is, like, actual variations of the shops. I think that's one thing that makes it really tedious, is when I'm going past a medical center, it looks exactly like every other medical center, apart from turn left here, turn right here.
Yeah.
That's sort of the only difference, right? Changing that, or having maybe, a variation of what the cargo decks might look like, or a variation of the refinery decks, etc., would just make such a difference when you're exploring these locations. Which, like, they'll probably do.
Yeah,
I mean, we're going to be getting essentially that for Pyro. All the stations on Pyro do have different versions of these. But to what extent is what I might also be curious about. Like, is Pyro just going to be every station, and Pyro is essentially identical in the interior? Possibly. I don't know.
Yeah. And that constantly I run into things like that remind me how, as much as it's weird to say, how early this game still is. Like, we're in alpha. They're not doing like the little polishing touches, like differentiating space stations. They just want space stations to work so we can board them. And like, we all kind of just want to be playing this as a game right now. So I'm constantly like, man, I really would love to just see the Microtech space station look like Apple made a space station. But
yeah,
why would they do that right now is what it always comes back to. So Port Olisar would you say it's a worthwhile replacement? I guess Seraphim Station now it's called.
I think it is mechanically, for sure, because we needed this stuff, right? We need cargo decks, we need medical stations, which I always keep forgetting the Port Olisar did not have a medical station. We needed it regardless, and I think exterior design wise, it is a good sending off. One thing I did notice though is that how they said that, like, once Port Olisar goes away, we'll make sure that we do something that's very fitting of it and stuff. One of the tank maps is on Daymar, and there's some ruins around the tank maps that look oddly familiar to the Port Olisar rings. Now, that could be just a reusing of assets straight up. It could be a sign of things to come with Port Olisar and whatnot, but it's at the very least nice to see that they are using the assets. That's good, because it was a cool looking station.
Yeah, it was. Can you confirm if we can fly through the rings again yet? Because I am so tired. gosh, so many times I was like feeling really cool about myself, and then I'd fly through the Port Olisar rings, and I'd be like, okay, no more flying ships. I blew up. Desync.
Yeah, I mean, you can fly through the Seraphim station rings mostly okay, but there's not as much reason to. Like, you would fly between the rings of Port Olisar because of the way that the pads are orientated. There's like 50% of you is covered by the rings.
Mm-hmm.
That's not really the case anymore with Seraphim Station.
Okay. That's a bummer. Well, I'm glad that like it's made for the future. As always, it's just nice that they're pushing forward with that kind of stuff. Hopefully next we see some use for the cargo modules, because they are still sitting there, kind of just sitting there, and it's been years, and I'd love to use them for something other than like a glorified shopping center.
Yeah, very much so.
What else is in this patch that you've noticed? Maybe like little things, surprise drops, or just stuff that they didn't announce beforehand.
Yeah, lots of quality of life things, which has been a very common theme from major patches for the last probably year and a half. So even the one that has caught my eye the most and is just super simple but is so impactful is when you call your ship. Right now in live, you'll get like a little sort of light up of like hull A at hangar 3 or whatever. They've just made it like much easier to read. They've sort of changed the font. It doesn't have like crazy amounts of glare coming from the lighting, and they've got a nice little drop shadow behind it. They've done a lot of small things like that with the UI, which is just great. And we're going to immediately forget that it happened, but I'm glad that it did. There's a lot of very hidden things that I haven't been able to find yet, but I've heard from other people that there's a lot more quality of life things just sort of around there. One thing that is annoying is keybinds have changed again. I think it's partially in preparation for master modes, but on your first day in 320, if you're wondering why you're either not able to go cruise control or like eject from your seat or whatever, lots of key bindings have changed again.
Boy.
And there's a whole extra set of them now too.
Ah, man, I'm going to be embarrassing myself all over again. I like it. Good to hear. There's I did notice, so I kind of downloaded it earlier today just so it'd be ready after this podcast to play it a little bit, and I noticed that there were emissions readings, I think FPS emissions readings at the top of the screen. Is that...
Yes.
Are those functioning at all, do you know, or is that just kind of placeholder stuff?
The one that definitely appears to be functioning is the one at the bottom. So they're not labeled.
Right.
It's just three readings that are there. And the bottom one appears to be sound, and that definitely seems to be working because you stop moving and it goes to 0. You start moving around, it starts going up. So at the very least, something's working there. I don't know if it's supposed to necessarily be in the patch though, because it's incredibly unpolished, obviously.
Yeah.
So I think it's more just of a like, hey, this will be coming soon. Like we've been waiting on this aspect of FPS stuff since they redid scanning, I think in 3.14. So it's probably just, hey, this is coming soon. We might just be testing the actual, levels of these readings.
It's like one of those things they're testing in PTU, probably won't be in live.
Yeah.
But it's a nice reminder that they are still making some progress on FPS scanning. That's really been my kind of problem with this year. I don't know if problem is even might be too strong a word. I guess like it's just irked me a little bit that we haven't gotten to hear about these systems that they've talked about a lot, that was in the letter from the chairman at the beginning of the year, stuff they wanted to get in this year, and then like just no updates, no sprint reports during ISC, nothing like that. It's at least nice to finally get a sign that stuff's moving forward on that. And that doesn't mean it'll be in the next patch or even this year, but FPS scanning is going to be really, really helpful in this game. Oh my gosh. Have you ever been stranded and just had no clue how to get back to where you needed to go?
Sort of. Okay, so there was one instance when I was doing practice for a System 7 one year. And one of the racetracks, you go from one spot to 45 kilometers away and then you come back. And normally what we did in those situations is we would put a box down at both sides, so that we know where to go. They disappeared halfway through me going through the track. And so because we didn't have FPS scanning or anything, I had to use, it was really bad, but I had to use the world map, like the Moby Glass map, to try to triangulate exactly where I was to a position that was only 45 kilometers away. So that wasn't fun.
Yeah, dude. I once got stranded on a moon. Like I was flying into an outpost and I don't know what happened, but I think I ran out of fuel and I crashed on the other side of a mountain. And I was like, not that far. I'm like, I'm only 10 kilometers away. I was lost for like 2 hours. And all we needed was like a compass or some way to save a location when you're in FPS mode. So that, like, things like that, man, I'm really excited to see FPS scanning and like just better UI support come to that kind of gameplay.
Yeah, definitely. Another thing that is sort of quality of life, sort of not, that is very impactful in the patch for, I would say, the majority of people, is they have added almost every ship to different like PvE encounters. So now in bounties or like mercenary, like ship mercenary missions and that sort of stuff, you're going to encounter more than just a Gladius, an Eclipse, and like a Vanguard, right? There's an actual large quality of things that you get to verse, which is really nice. I think if you're a new player coming into the game, you don't get to see a lot of ships when you're just playing unless it's other people. And so now you kind of get to go and see just how much variety there is in this game, because it's quite a lot.
Yeah, that's something that's always kind of bugged me, is that there are so many ships in this game. Like, it's the best asset this game has going for it. It's going to be nice to see a little bit more variety, and like hopefully they can use that to kind of build the lore and be like, okay, you're in this part of the system. They don't have as nice ships all the time, and they tend to go with more of these kinds of things, as opposed to in this part of the system where like all the pirates are really cutthroat and they have the best of the best stuff. And it sounds like they also have really differentiated like the difficulty levels because of that too.
Yeah, they added in like an extra difficulty level, because I believe previously like HRTs and VHRTs were practically the same, with like one or two ships different. Now there's like a full level that's different. And then, yeah, once again, you're just adding in all these other ships into those levels to make it a higher variety anyway. So as a whole, it's fantastic. It's also one of those things where it's like, feels like they probably could have done this like 2 years ago. But like, whatever, they've done it now. I'm happy.
You hear that, folks? Finally, they've done it. Whatever. That's how we feel about Star Citizen in general.
Look, Starfield's coming out this week, all right? My head's in a different way.
We got so much other stuff to enjoy, okay? Just put that down. Wait for it to get better. No, but that is like, there's always something that they have to get past to do these kinds of things, and it could be like the smallest thing. For sure. And it's a nice sign that like some of these systems are getting better. They're getting better at differentiating experiences. At the end of the day, when people say they want a better game, it's because they don't want to play the same thing just in a new location. Like, that's one of the big worries people have, right? Pyro is going to come into the game and it's just going to be like Stanton. It's just another set of planets. Nothing actually changes. And like, these are the little types of things that eventually add up to a different experience. So it's good to see.
Yeah, exactly. You're 100% on point.
Okay. I do have to ask, it did come up, and I forgot to ask this when we were going over the Hull C and the cargo stuff. Were there any changes whatsoever to commodities, economy, anything that would inspire people to start loading Hull Cs for full of stuff and actually putting in the effort to do station-to-station trips? Is that something that we can even tell yet, or is that kind of still up in the air?
There's definitely changes. However, some of the changes are a bit too volatile. Like, there's lots of things that are far too drastic and stuff. One example is if you go and do the mission in Wake of Disaster, the salvage mission, and you go and loot cargo-wise, you go loot the cargo from those ships, you'll end up with probably over 30 million UEC worth of cargo, which is chump change. It's no money at all.
You can barely get a med pen.
Yeah, look, inflation has hurt all of us, unfortunately. So that's, that'll change. The commodities that you can buy and sell at stations, has changed. The amount that you can buy and sell has changed. And once again, probably in some cases too much, in other cases not enough. So that's a thing that's just like, we won't know really how the I don't want to say economy, because it's not really economy. I guess we don't know how that gameplay loop will be affected until we get to at least open PTU. Because I feel like at that point, usually open PTU, those sort of things don't change. So give it a sec for now. However, they're definitely doing stuff is the positive thing, right? So expect it to be the case that you will be able to do trading with your hull C. Don't expect to fill up all 4,600 SCU with gold or something, but you'll be able to make decent profit regardless.
That's very good news. Like it might end up being broken, but just the fact that they're actually doing anything with it at this point to possibly support the hull C is good. Hopefully that means in the next patch or two, we can also start to see like cargo missions from planet to station, like specific things that are needed to be transported like that, as opposed to just go anywhere you want, carry whatever you want. That economy changes are always much appreciated.
Yeah, very much so. It does make me think though, because they've talked about how they still do want to overhaul the economy soon, like really soon.
TM.
Not soon TM.
No.
Soon TM.
the double soon. Oh boy.
So like it does make me wonder how much these changes are going to matter soon, but like at the very least for 320 you'll be able to do stuff.
Okay. Cool, that's fun. So overall, what is your opinion of 3.20 in terms of like where Star Citizen updates land? Obviously 318 was a huge one. I think the previous big one before that really was like 315 with like the inventory changes and stuff. And then, decent changes throughout the patches in between those. But like where does 3.20 sit for you from what you're seeing in this early stage?
The patch itself, I think, is better than most. And a lot of that comes from kind of the hidden implications from what we're getting that you're going to be doing in 320. The only thing that could sort of make this patch as good as it can be is if we get some sort of new dynamic event, I think, before the end of the year. We've been a bit lacking on those sorts of things for a while now. And we know that the mission team's always working on that sort of stuff. Because, you will hop into the game. There'll be lots of people playing Arena Commander. There'll be lots of people, doing trading and piracy and mining. There's been some mining updates to make it even better again that have sort of been a little secret. But that'll only take people so much. And, there'll need to be something before IAE that keeps people on. So hopefully we see something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It feels like a good update, but outside of the Arena Commander stuff, which isn't really PU related, not necessarily the kind of update that keeps on giving. But I hear exactly what you mean. Like the stuff with the cargo, different size cargo boxes is nice. And actually specifically something we didn't really go over just yet, the ground vehicle improvements are also possibly going to help differentiate the experience. Have you gotten to drive things around and see how that feels?
I have, yeah. It's completely different for a lot of vehicles, so it's hard to sort of gauge which ones I like at the moment. For the ground racing community, some race tracks are going to change. The Daymar Rally is going to be a very different beast now as well when we get to that next year, which is where you see these vehicles most. People aren't often taking out. Well, actually, I guess Ursa Rover, when you're getting out of prison, feels a lot better now, just in general. It's not faster or anything like that. It just kind of feels like it should. So they've done a lot of stuff like that that's really good. But yeah, for the racing community, who are the ones that are going to be, operating these vehicles to their extent the most, kind of at a, we're not sure yet. We're not sure how we feel about it yet. Because there's the whole, we have to relearn everything, but that could be good. So it just needs time.
Yeah. That's exciting for the racing community, especially because, I mean, there's so much potential in racing in this game, and like getting to actually feel some weight behind the vehicles, man. I know we're waiting for stuff with the spaceships for that kind of thing. We've always felt like they were weightless, but to get it with ground vehicles, especially like the amount of times when I've just been driving across the ground and like one side of my vehicle just randomly starts to like float off the ground because I touched a pebble or something. Drives me nuts. I would love a better experience driving across the ground, and hopefully this means AI will start to do it too.
Yeah, I'm still there was in the 3.19 patch notes. I keep bringing these up all the time. When they mentioned the new salvage missions at the time, and they were like, if you go and do these salvage missions, there will be sentries or centurions, the ground vehicle will be shooting back at you. Now that didn't happen in 3.19, but ever since then I've been like, it's coming. It's coming soon. Someone's doing it.
Yeah.
Let me see a nine-tailed centurion.
Somebody left that in. Oops. Yeah. My bad. That was for a couple patches later, guys. My bad. That is cool though. Like ground vehicles by AI would be an actual game changer if they were able to link them into missions, and you could like either attack or defend convoys and stuff, like, because all right now we can do is just go to a bunker. Tired of bunkers, man. Yeah. I want trucks.
Yeah.
So 3.20, good fun. I want to step back a little bit and talk about the lead up to 3.20, because this summer has been rough. I think a lot of people can say. When do you think we'll finally see this 3.18, 3.19 postmortem that they talked about? It's been a little while. And I think a lot of people are just wondering kind of what was CIG's thoughts on how those patches came out?
At this stage, it's possible we don't see it until CitizenCon. Because there's a lot of stuff that they like they can sort of patch it into just like this is what we've learnt from PES. Right? And that would be a pretty decent presentation at CitizenCon, I think. It'd be a very interesting one because it's just this brand new tech that's very weird. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see it till CitizenCon. Otherwise, I mean, I also wouldn't be surprised if we just don't see it.
Gosh, I hope not.
You know, the postmortems from my side, I don't really pay attention too much to the postmortems because it's sort of we're so already ingrained in the community and in like all of the news and stuff that doesn't really tell us too much. But obviously it's good for a lot of people. But I mean, I don't know, like you've sort of followed a lot more of like the news stuff side from CIG. Like what would a postmortem of 3.18, 3.19 look like?
They'd probably go through I think we would probably see kind of talk about salvage and that feature release, because clearly they released that feature, realized it was being played a different way than they wanted it to, and then quickly recalibrated and created a new mission with the whole new scraping mission. So like they have had thoughts and come back and made changes based on what they've seen from these patches. I think it would also really help for us to get an idea of how wide-reaching the problems were. Like, how much did the monthly active users actually change over those two patches, which might be something that they don't really want to talk about. But to get a better idea of kind of how reactive the community is, because we're all loud, we're all talking. What about all the people who aren't? Like, there's millions of people who don't go on the internet for these games when, you know, drama is picking up on different social media, and I'd love to see how the actual player base was affected. But most importantly, like you said, just kind of this is what we learned from PES, because their first try at it didn't work, and they had to go and recalibrate and do the entity graph and all that. It would be great to be able to hear now if PES is maybe running into problems, or if it is exactly what they need. Is it good to go going forward? Do they know it's working its way into server meshing and like they don't have problems, or do we need to recalibrate our expectations? And again, that's the kind of stuff that they don't seem to want to talk about too much now, but I still think it's important to understand like what's actually going on. You know, they don't have to give us all the nitty-gritty details, but even something as simple as, oh yeah, we put PES in, but we realized that we maybe need to have a more strict density manager, or we realized that like cities and other places really do have a difference in terms of how many items they can have, and they've sort of talked about that a bit, but I think an overall conclusion would be really nice to see.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. I do think, sort of like I said, I don't think necessarily we need to hear that right now. Just because, you know, it's not that it's not relevant right now, but it's all of the focus right now is going into CitizenCon, it's going into 320.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of other things that I would personally love to hear from them. But if we can get something at CitizenCon where it's like, this is how PES is going, this is how it's going to integrate with server meshing now that we have a better understanding of it, that sort of thing, I think that's probably the best way to do it.
Yeah, I think packaging it with whatever official communications they want to have about server meshing would be a good step forward. Because we haven't heard about that either.
Yeah,
like we've been waiting for that part 2 of meshing together for a little while now, and I think, I mean, clearly they've had to have made progress, but they're waiting for something before they reveal it to us, and that might be CitizenCon.
Yeah, I mean, it's only 2 months away. It's really close.
Yeah,
I keep forgetting that too.
Yeah, we're right around the corner, and with 3.20 coming out now, and like 3.20x patches coming out in between now and then, we actually do have a decent amount of stuff to kind of look at and talk about up until then. I don't think 3.20 is going to be live until like mid-September at this rate, and we don't even know if they are going to run into any other problems. So, like, there's not a lot of dead time in between now and CitizenCon anymore.
Yeah, I would say with 320.x, I don't think we're going to see it before CitizenCon.
No.
Based on 318. Well, 318 was a bit of an outlier, but based on 319 and before everything, 317 and whatnot, PTU tends to be a month and a half. So it's actually possible we don't even see this patch live until like early October.
That's fair.
At which case, one thing that I do sort of have a theory of, and is sort of like one of our topics, is I do think 320.x is going to be the IAE patch, especially because look at some of the things that got pushed into 320.x. It's a lot of ships. You know what happens at IAE? They release ships. So I think that's a pretty solid prediction that that's when we're going to see that.
And I think something also that's important to talk about there is like 3.20.x or 0.1. Like there are a lot of jokes and sort of memes that go around, partially because of like the 3.17 cycle and how many dot patches there were. And then I think when 3.19 came out, people were like, oh, it's 3.18.1 or whatever. And going forward, people are kind of like trying to attribute the fact that there are 3.XX patches to something changing in development. But that's been the case for almost every patch going back till like 3.1, right? They generally are always putting out a stabilizing patch in between major patches, or stabilizing or some other feature.
I don't know. I would have to check back essentially, because so I don't recall until 317. I don't recall any like decently sized like content patches in between major patches, if you know what I mean. So like, yeah, there's always the like, hey, we're putting a patch in because there's 30Ks happening every 30 minutes and we're fixing that. But until 317, from when I started until 317,
no, that's a fair point.
I didn't quite notice that.
They usually weren't very content focused, so that is a fair point. They were there, but they were generally for like stability or glitches or something like that. What else do you think we might see for the rest of the year? I mean, if 3.20.x is going until November, like you say, That essentially puts 3.20 into our Q3 patch. Are you thinking they'll drop another one in December?
Maybe another .x, possibly. Like I said, I think we're probably going to see another dynamic event. We're definitely going to see some small locations and missions probably still by the end of the year from the like Montreal team because they've been putting them out like crazy. And 319 doesn't have any. It's like, oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Are you sitting on a pile this time? Maybe, who knows?
We're still waiting for those.
Also, sorry, I think I misspoke. There's none in 320. There was in 319.
Right. Yes. Montreal stuff.
Yeah.
We're still waiting for those derelict outposts that were originally supposed to be in 319. Ones, yeah. And then they were supposed to be in 3.20. We haven't seen them talked about yet. Do you think that might be in an X patch towards the end of the year?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That kind of content feels very much like there's a couple of things that are like this. Some of them are like ships that haven't been announced and whatnot. There's a couple of bits of content where it's like, hey, CIG higher ups, we've finished this. Do you want us to yeet this into the patch? And I feel like those locations, ships, they sort of fall under that umbrella. And we know that they've been working on additional derelict settlements, right? They've been working on the like microtech drug farm was one of the ones that sort of pointed out to me when they showed that in ISC. I believe it was ISC. So I've got to believe that they're working on some more stuff like that. I don't think we're going to see any other major content, though. I don't think we're going to see any other major features. I don't think we're going to see any major locations or anything like that. I think it's just going to be, some missions, which is awesome, some ships, which is guaranteed to happen, and then maybe some minor locations.
That's fair. Do you think that we're on the kind of up and up now? Like I said earlier, the summer was rough for a lot of people. Many people have taken a break. We talked about taking breaks and it can be good for you, especially at a time like this. Probably a lot of people are just going to wait until 4.0, but do you think that we're kind of on the back kind of uptick in terms of morale in the community? Because people have been not very happy. Or do you think CitizenCon is going to come and go and people are just going to be like, okay, it's Pyro again?
I can't wait till Pyro presentation 2025. I think the morale definitely has gone up just because this patch looks cool and there's fun things to do and everyone's is having fun, right? That's a good thing regardless. And I think that will bide people over until CitizenCon. But as we've been saying for the last 6 months, there needs to be some big stuff at CitizenCon. Whatever it is, needs to be big, needs to happen because as fantastic as this game is, as fun as this game is, there's only so long that you can wait on the exact same thing. Like Pyro has never been shelved, essentially, is my understanding. They've pretty much been working on it nonstop in different ways over the course of the last probably better half of 7 years. And same thing with Squadron, like that changed drastically, but once again, kind of like the last 7 years, hasn't been shelved. And so we're just constantly waiting for this stuff to be announced, and that can hurt morale. But I don't think there's any way they're not going to announce that. I will say as well, I think early this year was kind of rough because last year was rough. We had a massive wait for patches last year. We had a couple of fun patches. We had a couple of we had some fairly fun content come into the game, but the huge wait for 318 kind of, I think, drained a lot of people of their excitement for the patch. And then it came out, they got to play it, they had a lot of fun, and then we had to wait for 319, similar sort of thing. And it just wasn't that exciting. I think 320 is definitely it's kind of a godsend that it's this fun and that it is kind of repairing some of that. But we need a big CitizenCon thing.
We definitely, I mean, there's always been the Star Citizen cycle. There is literally a picture for it that gets posted to Reddit every quarter. But I think you're right that it kind of deepened last year after the long wait for 318, partially because of the long wait, also because like all this time we've been waiting for this big tech to come and change the game. And then when it was finally ready to come in, like not only did it take a long time and people were kind of second guessing it, it came in and it broke the game, which is something that we expect, but like we're gamers. We want a game. We don't want to wait. We want a game. And this game is a lot of waiting. So is there, do you think there is a chance that like we'll see a replay of this year in that 318 came in, PES is good. Now we get server meshing maybe at some point. Guys, this is not a date, okay? This is all hypothetical. Maybe we get server meshing like at the beginning of next year, right? And like the March update, just like PES dropped, and it just breaks the game. And we have another kind of 6 to 8 months of like waiting for that to stabilize. And ultimately 3.20, CitizenCon, whatever good news happens towards the end of this year is sort of just like a positive bump that gets lost in the overall big picture of server meshing taking a long time again.
I think it depends a lot more on what they release alongside it, because I think the majority of people playing the game right now are aware that server meshing will 99% break everything. But if they still have nothing to do when that happens, that's when players get bored. If we could have, like, you know, at least the fun value of the Arena Commander update that we're getting in 320 in a patch like that where server meshing is coming in and breaking everything, then it wouldn't necessarily be too bad. Everyone would be like, oh yeah, well, these certain things are completely messed up, but hey, we still get to do all of these other cool new things regardless of that. And then, like, cool, hopefully this will get fixed later. But we didn't really see that with 318. Like, salvage got introduced, but it ended up being a lot more tedious than a lot of people had previously thought. And that was kind of the major thing. So
yeah, I do really hope that despite whatever happens, we do see things like engineering or bounty hunting, or like we talked about earlier, FPS scanning, star map, other significant things we're still looking for that maybe might break with server meshing, but at least come into the game still. What are some things though, I guess, besides server meshing that you are hoping to see at CitizenCon, or you're expecting to see? Rather?
Hoping and sort of expecting to see a bit more polished version of the engineering gameplay that they showed us last year. Because that was all very interesting and very cool. But we didn't really see it, like, it was in engine, but it wasn't like in universe. So I'm hoping we get to see, you know, engineering gameplay work as intended. That'd be quite cool. Bounty hunting version 2, which, like, we still just have like barely any information on. So even just like hey, this is what we want it to be, would be quite nice. Where if we don't see Squadron, I will be unbelievably surprised. Because that would be crazy to me that we haven't seen Squadron. Once again, we haven't, other than like short snippets of feature previews into the PU from Squadron. We have not seen any Squadron footage since 2018. And like any amount would be like not showing anything would be kind of wild. So, yeah, surely we'll see that. But I think a large thing is that this CitizenCon is almost definitely going to be focused on the community. It certainly feels like they're giving off that vibe with, you know, what they've been posting on Twitter and on Spectrum and stuff. So, just CIG being cool community bros is what I'm expecting.
Yeah, that's actually, oh my gosh, the yeah, Fight or Flight is going to be like a big community thing, but this is also the first one in a while. It is also 2 days. Yeah. Everybody's got their opinions on why it's 2 days. What's yours?
A couple of things, I reckon. I do think that they just have more to show, and they want to make it so that it's not just back to back to back to back stuff. No breaks. Here's everything. Like I do think they just needed to space it out. But yeah, there's probably more content to show. Another important thing of like it's the first live CitizenCon since 2019. The player base was also less than half the size it is currently.
Yeah.
At that time.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, there is a lot more accounts and a lot more pledged numbers. I think they hit 300 million in 2019, and we just hit 600 million the other day. So, yeah, I think the 2 days matters. I'm in the I'm part of the Atmo Esports Fight or Flight thing. We need 2 days. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
We need 2 days to run the event. So maybe they're just doing it for us. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's 2 days because of the Fight or Flight.
The whole second day is just like everybody crowded around a group of computers cheering each other on.
Yeah, exactly.
Tell us a little bit. I know you can't say too much about it, but the Fight or Flight tournament has already started. How is it going, and what's expected? What should people be expecting when they see it at CitizenCon?
Yeah, so firstly, we did the group stages last weekend. So we found out who our top 8 teams are. They're going to be competing this coming weekend over at the Atmo Esports channel to find out who the top 4 are, but as well, actually crown a champion. The top 4 teams from those are going to be invited to CitizenCon. We're going to split the teams up, so you're not going to actually be with your teammate. And we're going to give a content creator to you, and you're going to have to show them how to PvP.
Gosh, dang content
which is going to be very interesting. I know, they're absolutely trash. They're absolutely trash. I will say one thing, actually. So Fight or Flight is kind of my first real foray into dog fighting, like heavily competitive dog fighting. And in general, the community has been really awesome, right? Like after the event, they were kind of like, "Hey, Croncy," and they messaged the other commentators as well. They were like, "Hey guys, great commentating. Here's like some things that you missed that would have been really cool. Do you want to take any lessons? Do you want to like we can explain some more stuff to you and stuff?" And it's been really, really awesome to see. So I'm super appreciative of that group of people to do that, because we don't often hear much from them. Because there's not many popular dogfighters, if that makes sense. There's a few, but it's a little. It feels like it's very much its own little world. But it's nice to see them. Actually, like, they're super welcoming and they're super open to helping everyone. So that's been really cool.
No, I think that's a good conversation to have at one point. Maybe like a Citizen Central episode. Just the idea that like the community itself has a very diverse amount of players that are really good at certain things: racing, dogfighting, FPS combat, medical services, stuff like that. And like, unless you're making content for that stuff as you do it, it's really hard to have a place in the community and actually show off your stuff. I mean, we should be highlighting people who are mastering this game. There are a lot of possibilities in this game. Many people believe it's a very basic game without a high skill ceiling, that people are just going in and like dilly-dallying around and floating through space and then signing off because they got scammed. When like some people are putting a lot of time and effort into getting good at this game, and if you're not also kind of producing on the side stuff to show that off, it's hard to find. So tournaments like this are awesome. I appreciate that they get put on, and big thanks to you for helping to make that happen. Really cool to see kind of your like journey through the shoutcasting. And it is shoutcasting, right? I always think I'm getting that wrong.
Yeah, we talked about this last time.
Yeah,
you can say shoutcasting, commentating, pretty much whatever.
Yeah,
so it all works.
Shoutcasting just comes straight to me. But I it's been cool to kind of watch your journey going through that, and to see how CIG has also got the back of the groups that are making these things happen, and now like bringing it to CitizenCon is just the next step. It's got a good future for it.
Yeah, it does. It's just in general, all of these like hyper competitive communities in Star Citizen, it's really cool to see them get a little bit more recognition. And it's really impressive to watch what these guys do. Like, it's not just the dogfighters, right? Like the racers have been getting a lot more sort of like coverage from CIG and stuff in the last couple of years. It'd be nice to see, probably with the Arena Commander update, to see a bit more of the really, really good FPS players get a little bit of credit and stuff too. So hopefully that happens, because I mean, everyone's going to be in there regardless. So
yeah, man, let's boost that up. I want to see some competitive mining events.
Every time someone inevitably says that every time. I've been thinking about that for the pretty much ever since I started playing the game. And I just don't know how you make it entertaining. I want to do it, but I don't know how you make it
I
entertaining.
can just imagine the freaking commentating to that. Just like, it looks like he's halfway up the meter. Hold for it. Maybe he'll get it.
And he's
Keep
decent.
holding. The music's blaring.
Yeah, I mean, look, Farming Simulator has a really, really popular esports community. So, hey, maybe we can do it. Maybe there's a way to do it.
People have Excel tournaments. We can find a way. All right, we can we can make it happen. All right, man. Well, thank you so much for joining me for today's show. Are there any closing comments you wanted to make? Star Citizen this year, or 3.20 CitizenCon? Anything we missed?
Not really, but like I do think that right now is a really good time to be a gamer in general. I think it's a really good time to be into Star Citizen because we're seeing some fun patches pop up. We're about to see CitizenCon again. It's going to be a good time. Yeah.
I will agree with you there, man. We have all had our streaks of cynical ever since, gosh, I don't even know when it like really started. I feel like I noticed it starting around Battlefront 2 with the loot boxes, and then for like the last 8 years since then, or whenever that came out, it's just been like, oh god, the gaming industry is going downhill. Like they're doing all this stuff, and you get like a diamond in the rough here and there, like a good game or a studio doing something great, or like the indie games really picked up for a while and started to like carry the industry. But like it is legitimately, there's some really good stuff happening in the industry right now, and you know, we always have progress to make, but if you are a gamer, there's almost certainly a good game in your genre that has either come out in the last year or is coming out in the following year. And it's nice to see, man. Just sit back and like bask in it for a little bit. Star Citizen might have had a hiccup this year, but I do think that they are in the big picture making some good progress, and we'll see some good stuff coming up shortly. Soon TM, double soon TM, triple soon, however many soons we need. Croncy, my man, always appreciate you having you on the show. Could you let the folks know where they can find your content?
Yeah, so you can find my stuff. Regardless of whether I'm posting videos on YouTube, I'll definitely be on Twitch a lot of the time. So twitch.tv/Croncy. Find me on YouTube at Croncy. Find me on Twitter at Croncy1. And as of last night, you can also find me once a week at the Answer the Call podcast with Salty Mike. I've become a permanent co-host to make his podcast way worse.
Croncy is taking the shoutcasting to a weekly experience. I'm excited for that, dude. That's fun. It's always a good time chatting with you. I look forward to watching those episodes. Thank you again for joining me. Folks, thanks for coming and watching this live. For anybody who's listening on the audio platform, that is right. We're live on YouTube and Twitch right now. And have a lovely, excited chat following us along. This will be up on regular platforms, though, so keep an eye out for it. And folks, if you are here live, don't go anywhere because I will be jumping into 3.20 PTU so that we can check out some of the stuff we talked about today here in just a few minutes. But I'd like to thank you all for coming to this one. I'm happy to be back after a week away from the streams. Looking forward to covering more Star Citizen, Starfield, and even touched on a little bit of Star Wars Outlaws recently. I forgot to mention that's another one that I'm interested in. It is Ubisoft, so I'm hesitant, but it's another space game. You never know. Yeah. So thanks again for joining me, folks. Croncy, thank you one last time, and I'll see you all next week.
Thank you very much. See you guys.
I was also muted. Hello. Hello, everybody. Sorry about that. Hi. How's it going? Okay. So, little problem here. When I do my streams, or when I do my podcast, rather, I have to send my computer through to, or I have to send my camera through to my gaming PC where my podcast is being hosted, as opposed to my streaming PC where my streams go through. So right now, what I need to do is get my gaming PC to send my camera feed through to my streaming PC so that you guys can still see me. So I'm just getting that done real quick. Streaming is difficult. Bear with me. All right, send that over there. I'm gonna grab this link over here. And hopefully this will work. Let's see. How's everybody doing? Welcome, folks. Good to see you. Thanks for checking in on the podcast episode if you did. I appreciate the support during that. I didn't get to say a big thanks to everybody. Tyrus dropped 5 memberships. Father Russell dropped a $5 super chat. I believe it was, let's see, where was it? Vasten dropped a large tip. Thank you very much, guys. That's the kind of stuff that keeps our content quality high. Okay. Join with camera. This is going to work. I know it's going to work. Cam link. Camera is already in use. That's not true. Let me try restarting it. Might have to go cameraless today. Let's see. Let's see if it makes me. Yeah. Hold on. And did we get the camera? And my camera just turned itself off. Sorry, guys. Technology, huh? Gotta love it. It's it always works exactly when you need it. There we go. Okay. Got my camera up. Let me see if I can get it sent over to the other feed. It's gonna be a little laggy today because of this, but we do what we must. We do what we can. All right, here's what we're going to do. I need to plug this in here. Little browser extension with me inside of it. Maybe. Yeah, there we are. Oh. Turn my sound off. There we go. Okay. I'm a little blurry, but I think this works, right? This works out well enough. How y'all doing? Good to see you, my friends. Thank you for joining me today. See, it's always just a little bit of technology fiddling, and you can get it to do the wildest of things, like working how it's supposed to. All right, let me clear out these tabs real quick. And we're here. All right, so Alpha 3.20, folks. Y'all ready for this? Are you guys... Has anybody been like particularly excited for this patch? I know that it is a Arena Commander heavy patch. There's not like big selling features in this one, but some people are very excited for some of the features. I am at your disposal. Tell me what you guys want to see today. What would you like to check out in 3.20 first? I was thinking we could go check out the Hull C, maybe Seraphim Station. Those are easy. And then we can jump into Arena Commander and see how that's running. What are y'all thinking? You're looking for your spirit? No spirit. We were just talking. Wait, did we even talk about the spirits? Oh, you know what? I think I forgot to talk about that with Croncy. I was totally thinking the 3.3.x patches. We needed to talk about the Nova tank and the Spirit coming in, and we didn't even get into that. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to call him up, do a little addendum, add it on the end. That is actually really disappointing because those were big topics I wanted to hit, and I just got swept up with the CitizenCon discussion and forgot to get to those. What are you guys thinking though? Anybody particularly interested in the Spirits? C1 or A1? You have both? Which one is more exciting to you? Just reset this stuff. It's been a little while since we did our streams. It looks like over the week that I was gone, we did not hit my Twitch goal. So there's that. I'm resetting that stuff now, though. YouTube, on the other hand, popping off as always. Whoa, look at that notification. That's exciting. Fun new addition, seizure notifications. A1 and C and E1 are good, C1 is bad. Why is a C1 bad? You had an E1, but from a lack of ships, you upgraded it. What'd you upgrade to? That's got to be a hefty upgrade, right? Too many combat ships in game. Need more industrial. Vastin, I am right there with you. Honestly, the industrial ships are what make the world go around. They're also what, like, literally strips the world of its minerals and resources, so important stuff. I would love to see the Vulcan in game. I think that's one of my most anticipated ships, not just for the drones. Drones are exciting, but just the prospect of like such a workhorse industrial ship at that size is really cool to me. All right, let's see if we can make it to the Halsey. Might have to go up top. There's those emissions. And you can tell what he was saying about them being like very unpolished. They're like literally not even in the bar. This is absolutely not a game feature that they're looking to put in anytime soon. Let people like stuff? No, there is no liking stuff. Never like things. Ah, you got the MSR off the E1. That's actually pretty good. MSR is a solid ship. And like, you know, a bigger version of the C1, so without the data stuff. Okay. When I loaded in here earlier, when I first started the game up, Jesus, the frame rate was so bad. But it's looking passable now. Above 20 frames per second, which is good for me. You upgraded your Cuddy Black to a C1. I think I might have done the same. I upgraded something to a C1 that I had. I don't remember what exactly it was. There's a back entrance. Back entrance to what?
The next shuttle.
Oh, the C1? MSR? They do both have back entrances. Oh, you know what? I actually should not have reset these memberships to that level because you guys have already... You've thrown the support down today. Let me reset those again. I think there's 5 members on YouTube. Look at me. Just cheating. Hold on a second. 5 members. And now I have to... The annoying part about Stream Elements is you can't just switch profiles for some reason. It completely breaks the service. I have to log out completely and log back in order to get it to let me use both services. Twitch and YouTube. Oh no, it let me do it this time. Cool. Okay, how many memberships, how many subs over on Twitch? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, thank you all. I appreciate you. Drazen, I see you with 34 months. Stuck in Arkansas. My man out here is moving. Big business guy moving states for the job. I hope it's going at least relatively smoothly for you, though stuck in Arkansas does not sound super smooth. Hope you're at least having a good day. Terrible Bishop, thank you for the sub, man. Appreciate you. 7 months. You sadly had to do a little soul searching because you can't seem to get into the spirit of Star Citizen. CIG, where my goddamn spirits? Can't get into the dreaded spirits of Star Citizen. Wait, what do you...
For passengers,
oh,
the shuttle is preparing
okay.
to clear the
All right, mixing things up a little bit. I like it. Yeah, no, I don't blame you. It's been a rough year, like we discussed on the podcast, and to be honest, a lot of people are more. There's a lot of good games coming out. You know, there's a lot of good things to do. It's hot outside for, you know, one half of the world, and it's, you know, you're not feeling it. Don't feel it. That's fine. We're going to be doing a lot of Starfield here in the next couple of weeks. As soon as the game is actually out and I can start playing it live, I'm going to be playing a lot of Starfield. So if you're not feeling Star Citizen, come to those streams. If you don't like Starfield and you want more Star Citizen, we'll still be doing those streams. So whatever interests you. I will say this. We've got a lot of things coming up in the near future. So, currently hosting my family over here in Turkey, and that has been a fun adventure, which I will elaborate on in a little bit here. But also we are headed back to the States for our little half of the year over there. For those who don't know, me and my wife split our time every year between Turkey and the US. We've been in Turkey since February of this year. We will be heading back to the States again in September until February of next year. So my schedule will be a little bit different. Those who want to be playing Star Citizen or other games, we'll be doing some like Sea of Thieves, Deep Rock Galactic. I'll probably play some more Halo. We'll be doing more of that on US night times. So you'll be seeing more of me then. My streams will probably be going a little bit longer. And I'll be more active when a lot more of our community is active. So make sure to check out the updated schedules once we start posting about that. That'll be mid-September that we get started there. I'll be going on a little family vacation. My parents are dragging us to the Deep South. We're going to be visiting Louisiana for a bit. And that'll be a couple weeks. And then obviously CitizenCon is in October. So it's going to be a lot of off and on streams coming up, but I will definitely still keep up with the videos and the posts and all that good stuff. Hope y'all will join me for that. Which country's food do I prefer? Turkey's. It's like not even an argument. Turkish food is unbelievably delicious in so many different ways. American food, unfortunately, is very good. Like, you can get great food in America, but there are caveats there. And obviously there's caveats with everywhere. But America is a place of, I mean, it's a country of immigration, right? Like, the majority of that country immigrated from other places, and therefore we have brought other styles of food into America, made them our own. They are indeed delicious, but Turkish food has had literal millennia to develop as people have been living here for like 4,000 plus years. So like the dishes and stuff that you can eat here are rooted in so much like culture and understanding of the ingredients that it's really good. I don't know how else to describe it. We will be doing events sometime in the distant future where Mrs. Tomato, I'm sure, will lovingly create some delicious Turkish food for the people, because she makes good stuff. And I hope at that point I can kind of share that, why I love it so much. Oh, sorry. That's your elevator. Go ahead. But until then, you'll just have to take my word for it. No, or literally like just find a Turkish restaurant or something. A lot of times they're not called Turkish restaurants in America. A lot of times they're called Mediterranean restaurants. Sometimes they're called Greek restaurants. For some reason, they don't advertise the Turkish part all too often. Oh, I have eaten some great Texas barbecue. And don't get me wrong, there is great American food. Just overall, Turkish food definitely takes the cake for me. Or as they say in Turkey, takes the pasta. Cake is pasta in Turkey. It's a little confusing. Dock in port 4. Let's go see the Hull C, folks. Any word on the bar citizen the night before CitizenCon? We're going to do a meetup. We are definitely going to do a meetup. Then I don't think it'll be the night before CitizenCon. I think it'll be... I have to find a good time for it, because there is another event going on the night before CitizenCon that I think I'm going to be attending, and I don't want to overbook or anything. The only reason you haven't been playing is because you've been doing overtime at work. Gotta fund those new ships, right? No, but like, you know, pay bills and stuff. LoJack, thank you for the sub. Appreciate you. There is the beautiful thing. So does this mean that you can actually load cargo onto the Hull C here in Orison? If you can get it out of dock? Actually, I guess you could probably spawn this thing on the ground in other planets too, so... Better food than America, but Turkey win-win. I can't say I've had Polish food before. Specifically SoCal. What about SoCal? Prince. I think I missed your first message. I did live in SoCal for 4 years, though. I'm originally from California. Love that place. Is Turkish food close to Greek? There are a lot of similarities there. Obviously being so close to each other. In fact, we were on the coast of Turkey, and you can see Greek islands off the coast from there. There's a lot of crossover between there, between other places in the Middle East. A lot of Turkish food comes from the Ottoman Empire, which, you know, had a lot of that land for a long time. Bring the family to Austin, you'll cook for me. Next time there is a CitizenCon out there. Only on the orbiting stations. Okay, well, this is... Oh, that is certainly industrial looking. Look at that. Just full on... see the frame on the interior and everything. That's a special kind of ship. Ooh. Some graphical glitches going on with the ship. PTU Wave 1 issues. But let's see. So, airlock obviously leads to our... suit lockers. I believe. It just says engineer. Oh, they labeled the suit lockers for each person. I wonder why they would do that. That's interesting. They have been talking about role selection on ships. But I wouldn't think that they would actually put the names on the suit lockers for that. So, a couple things. We've got suit clamps. Probably placeholder, but does give an idea that you'll be able to put one suit in here and clamp it on there. Emergency release. I'm guessing that is for the suit itself. They've got the pilot, the engineer, the navigator, and the captain. And I wonder if we're supposed to read into that at all, that there is a pilot and a navigator, and that's not the same role. But it does seem like they are setting this up as a 4-person ship, at least as far as people that are going to want to get off the ship in terms of having a suit on. Interesting. You had a business trip with car to Turkey with a lot of devices to deliver and install. Oh, God. Traveling by car in Turkey can be rough. Oh, emergency release for the door. That's actually a good idea. I wouldn't think that. Wow. The cockpit is very close to the airlock. So like, if somebody breaks onto your ship through the airlock, they've got the door manual release there. If somebody breaks onto your ship through the airlock, you better have a good defense right here. Because that's a left turn and you're into the bridge. Alright, so on board here, we've got a computer panel. Whatever this might be meant for in the future. A lot like the Starfarer, it's got that classic 2-pilot, or I guess 1 pilot, 1 navigator role, and then the captain in the back. People really like that setup with the... Oh, okay, I thought I crashed. People really like that setup with the MISC ships, and I think it is pretty cool for the Starfarer. I should probably be recording this. Let me get... let's pull up OBS real quick. And... there we go. Okay. So... this is the Hull C. We're going to take a little bit of a tour of it. We'll take it out, fly it around, see what all the doodads do and the diddads does, and see what makes this ship ship. So we're starting here in the bridge. Classic MISC setup. Oh my god, OBS is really slowing me down, huh? It's dropping my frames. We've got the computer over here on the side. This is where your AI blades are going to go. Whenever we get those, this is technically the computer component, and then the AI blades are the subcomponents, which have not been introduced into the game, but they've got that here in the back, which you'll be able to use for things like manning turrets and possibly doing other things like, I don't know, navigating or something special, making drinks for you. I don't know. Over here we got a little computer panel for something at some point in some time. Radar component is another one that has not really been physicalized in game or used, but it's going to be important for things like scanning, discovering, and being able to overall just be aware of what's around you. Obviously, radar does that kind of stuff. Now in the front, we've got the pilot and the navigator seats, as well as a captain here, much like the Starfarer. And a... what is that? What does that say? Man, these stutters are terrible. Only in emergency. Alright, well, if you don't tell me what it is, I'm going to open it anyways. And these roles we'll see real quick here in the suit lockers that they do correlate. Am I gray on camera? Why am I gray? Oh, because I opened up OBS. Oh, man. Hold on. Let me see if I can... Huh. Yeah, that was a mistake on my part. Can I disable this? Deactivate when not showing. That's a bummer. I might have to stay gray. Because it kind of it breaks when I open OBS. It breaks my camera because it's trying to shove them through two different inputs. Man, that's a bummer. Okay, you know what we're gonna do instead? Let me close OBS and restart my camera here. Can't do that. Refresh. There we go. Okay. And reopen OBS. Does it still break me? Yeah, I'm broken again. All right. Now let's refresh again. Yeah, there we go. Fixed. Thank you for the heads up there. Am I good? I'm good. Okay. Back to it. Sorry about that. Tech problems, of course. So, yeah, the lines up top are your FPS emissions. You've got EM, IR, and audio. Decibel. The middle one is decibel, which you can see as you move around. It does trigger a reading. These are likely just in here for testing purposes, just to kind of get some more readings on this in a larger scale. They likely won't make it into the live build, but they are here right now for the PTU and do point towards further progress towards FPS scanning and radar, which is going to be a big deal. All right, so this was the bridge. Super laggy, super great. We love it. Let's take a step back from here. Now, you got this main hallway, one we've seen many times in promo videos for this ship dating back all the way back to 2018. Seriously, we've been seeing this ship for a while. Got a component out here, shield generator. Weirdly, it's not in the engineering section, but okay, sure. I'd actually be interested in knowing if you could pull this out. It might be too large right now. But it is physicalized, it is there. And then over here you've got your airlock. And I find it fascinating that the airlock is so much closer to the bridge than one might expect. If somebody boards your ship through these now invisible geometries in the ship, ignore that, PTU wave 1, they'll have pretty easy access to your bridge if you're not defending this doorway well. So that's an interesting setup. We'll have to see how that goes when it comes to getting on board and stealing stuff. But over here is where I mentioned the different ship roles. And I got to turn on the power here. But you can see there's a suit locker for the pilot, engineer, navigator, and captain. So you got 4 people with suit locker spots and 4 designated roles for the ship. Kind of, I guess, pointing towards what we might need to be doing on the ship. We know there's an engineer. We know there's a captain and a pilot. Navigator is kind of a new one to us. It'll be interesting to see. Yeah, I'll turn on the lights real quick. I do really enjoy some of these ships when the lights are off. Like the Hammerhead has the coolest lighting when the power is off. All right. There's our power. Who would want to walk far to get to the docking ring to leave and board the ship? Yeah, that's fair. For convenience sake, it's pretty nice. But for fighting off pirates, might not be the most fun. But what's going to be happening more? Probably you getting on your ship. So it is nice that it's right here. And I think overall that is what people tend to say about the game itself, is like they hate running so far to get to the cockpit or the bridge whenever they get on board. So that's probably a nice quality of life fix for most people, more than it's a fear for anti-pirate retaliation. Over here on this side of the hallway, we've got escape pods. So if you couldn't tell, this is kind of the main... What? The power is on, right? Why is it so dark in this hallway? Interesting. Over here, you've got the escape pods. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is very clearly a 4-person ship that they've got this plan for. Escape pods actually look a lot like suit lockers. I'm not going to get in here for sake of possibly getting trapped inside, but they are functional. There are places on the outside of the ship that you can see these will eject out of if you ever need to. These ships are built for the sake of people both destroying and living in them. So they do have to consider all these things when they make the geometry of the ship, and it can make things kind of complicated. Manual releases for things are going to be necessary, because if you lose power, you still need to be able to function all these systems. You can see that on other doors as well. And here's our life support component in here as well. Again, something else that's not really physicalized, it's not done. It's coming in with the engineering gameplay, something that they're working on right now. And these might be lockers maybe of some sort, some storage. Doesn't look like the power is on. Yeah, maybe I just turned on peripheral power. Or maybe I didn't turn on anything. Same lighting as when I got in here before. I just have the memory of a dead... I think I might have just turned on systems and not power. Crater Gaming! What's up? How's it going? We're back! It's been like a week and a half since I got to stream. I think. Glad to be back though, folks. Hope you've been having a good week. I know how hard it is to have a good week without tomatoes. We all need to stay health conscious, but back to supply you with some nutrition. Power, power, power. Engine, shields, QT, HUD, weapons. Countermeasures. Power. There it is. Little pow. There we are. Hello. Thank you for the welcome back. Been relying on V8. Yo, good for you. A good citizen is one who can find the right substitute. Liquid pizza without the crust. I don't know if I ever want to try eating something like that. But we'll go with it. Personally, I would suggest tomatillo. Okay, let's head up to the habitation deck. See what's up there. Will I stream and upload Starfield videos? I will. I've actually already made a few Starfield videos. I think my most recent video on the channel is Starfield. And I am currently working on a early impressions video. So I was given early access to Starfield, but it was early late kind of. So like I didn't necessarily, I don't feel I've had enough time with it yet to give a full review. So I'm probably going to be giving a early impressions video at the end of this week, at the end of the month. And then I will be doing streams. I will have another video coming out probably in 2 weeks about Starfield. And then I'll have a full review probably at the end of September or so. During that time, obviously, I'll still be doing all the normal Star Citizen stuff, covering the PTU, covering new features coming up, and releasing a couple of different videos there, as well as the monthly report. So all the same stuff. I just now have another game I can finally cover. I'm very much a space fan, and I haven't like had another game besides Star Citizen that captured me enough to cover in a long time. Probably the last game I would have considered covering was Mass Effect Andromeda, and since that was 3 or 4 years before I even started doing this, I didn't have coverage on it. So now I finally have something else, and that'll be included going forward. This is interesting. That is definitely a placeholder picture, so I'm pretty sure that's space in the background. But this is the tractor beam room. Cargo. Huh. So this is where you would go if you were loading and unloading cargo from this ship, as well as obviously other ships, small ships, Argo MPUVs and stuff like that. Those ships would probably drop off the packages here, and then you would use your tractor beam on the hull C to attach them. Let's sit down. Problem with watching someone stream a game you'll be playing are spoilers to the main storyline. Yeah, that's something I'm going to have to figure out. I might just do side quests and stuff while I'm on stream. I'm not entirely sure I'm going to handle that content yet. In fact, videos in general for a game that's already released, I have to recalibrate how I do it. So I'm very used to just covering features that haven't been released and stuff. So we'll see how that goes. So we've got remote turrets here. These are... I guess these are these... I don't know if those are gun turrets or tractor beam turrets. It looks like... I think that's a tractor beam turret. It's not really modeled out yet. And this one up front is probably also a tractor beam turret. And then up top, we've got gun turret. That's a hefty boy. And another gun turret. Both remote. So, oh, is that a tractor beam in front of the gun? Is that 2 tractor beams? How many do we have? Power. 1, 2, 3, 4. So definitely some weapon turrets here, but I think there's also some tractor beam controls going on in here. Manual release, ERT light, hardwire capacitor. So that's for engineering gameplay. There is a lot of stuff in here that is placed because they know the gameplay is coming. That's a lot of the kind of stuff that other ships are missing that will have to be updated over time, is all the stuff for like cargo gameplay, for engineering gameplay, for life support, and all that. Mass Effect Andromeda was a cool concept. Yeah, honestly, feels like it was a concept for what Starfield is actually supposed to be. Am I in Turkey or US? Right now I'm in Turkey. We will always be going back and forth. She's from here. Her family lives here. I'm from the US and my family lives there, so we want to try and split our time. Best of both worlds. They're both great countries. They both got a lot of stuff to offer. So as long as we are able to, we will continue to make content, deliver content from wherever we are, and see our families. Now here we are in the eating quarters. Actually, I guess if you're trying to have a party, you better hope nobody's trying to sleep. Once again, 4 beds, emphasizing that 4 crew limit. And that's also interesting because they're not like, hey, your gun turret people are going to be part of the crew. This is sort of pushing this idea that like you're not hiring somebody just to be on a gun turret. You're hiring your engineer, navigator, and all that stuff, and then you'll have somebody else on the turret. And maybe that means that somebody won't have a bed. Maybe you will bring on somebody for a special turret seat if, for instance, you're doing a very dangerous trip. But for the most part, it seems like they are saying you've got your set crew, and that crew is going to be split between multiple functions depending on what your ship is doing at that time. Here we've got a blast door for whatever might be through here. Actually, that looks like a reflection. That's the same room we're in. Don't know why there'd be a blast door here. There's another capacitor for engineering gameplay. The 3 bars up top are emissions for the FPS scanning gameplay. Not in game yet, probably just for testing on the PTU. Got a little kitchen here. Future microwaves and ovens. Or like, I don't know, food digitizers, whatever you use in 900 years to make food. The 5th red shirt person doesn't get a bed. You know what, Binary? You're probably right. They don't deserve a bed or a suit. If they got to get out of the ship, we just push them out the airlock. Also, remember, folks, we're always running giveaways. Even in the last Starfield video, there is a secret code for our giveaway coming up. We've got a Nomad starter package that we're giving away at the end of August, just like every month. A little ship giveaway going on. You can enter it especially on Twitch. You can also enter it via many different opportunities across social media. Just check those links out that Mrs. Tomato has so kindly dropped into the chat. Thanks to Mrs. T. If the max is 4 anymore, the life support will not handle it. Unless you push more power to your life support. But yeah, somebody did mention hot bunking. And hot bunking probably will work. But you still only have 4 escape pods and 4 suit lockers. So again, red shirt person. Sorry, buddy. You're out of luck. No captain's quarters? I don't... Does MISC do captain's quarters? I don't remember. I guess we only have the Starfarer to go off of, and that's pretty old. Maybe there are captain's quarters. Let's keep adventuring and see if we can find it. We've got a bathroom here. Can always shove the captain in there. Whoa! This is a big bathroom. They've got storage in here? What is this? Is for toilet paper or something? Man, toilet paper and armor, apparently. Yeah, this is a huge bathroom. Yet they still had to fold up the toilet. Man, I mean, I guess not all that luxury. Toilet and shower. All this space. Toilet and shower. As of right now, there is not a full wipe plan for 3.20 that I know of. So this is the habitation area. Not bad. I have problems with MISC's styling in some places. And then other places I really do enjoy it. And I think this is a combination of both here in this room. But I've seen the back area with the engine and the elevator, and that's looking real nice. So let's head up there, or back there rather, and see how that is. They do really push the toilet shower combo. Honestly, it makes me feel like someday I'm going to just forget that there's supposed to be a pop-out toilet and just go to the bathroom in the shower. But they did that in Jimmy Neutron, so I think it's okay. Alright, let's see. If it wasn't for the concept art, they would have laid the hull C cargo grid out like the A's and you'd be able to land. I think they're the same, aren't they? Is the hull A not have anything on the bottom? Oh no, it's only on the side. But I think from the very beginning, they just wanted to make sure that the larger hull series ships gave reason to not land on planets. Like a cool little complication. It's okay to poo in the shower, you just gotta stomp it down. That is heresy. Oh my god. Okay, docking, or not docking collar. This is the extension tube. This is probably where a lot of the tech animation and engineering went into making this ship work. This hallway, when it transforms, extends while you're walking through it and opens up another object container in real time around you. It's pretty crazy. I haven't seen it in action. Probably won't today, but at some point we will. Now I need to figure out how to... I don't... Okay. I guess that's the ship, folks. Are there any other entrances? Needs to be extended to open the door. Okay. In that case, why don't we get this ship going? Let's take this thing out to space and then continue our tour up there. See how it flies. Do not walk here during the quantum jump, you'll be left. Man, I try not to walk anywhere on any ship during quantum travel anymore. It's dangerous. How can Miss help you? Hello, she says. Alright, let's undock and pull away. What if I didn't power up and undocked? And it just like dropped me? The ship just started falling away. Can you undock? Come on. Let me go! Yeah, it's probably a bug. That's gonna have to be an issue council report. What the heck is that? Is that new? I don't remember vertical barges. Oh, it's Alt and N?
You are clear to launch.
There we are.
Thank you.
All right, we are away. Does it have landing gear? Yes, this ship has landing gear. Imagine these thrusters on like a hull A. Are you late to the game, or does anyone else see something unfortunate about the ship status screen? No, it has been regularly pointed out. I mean, we're all big fans of the MISC style, right? That's just part of their charm. As Croncy said in the podcast, size doesn't matter. I think someone said the Vulture was 1.2 million in game in PTU. It should be in game in 3.20. Well overdue at this point. All right. Let's knock out 2 birds, 2 stones with 1 bird, and check out Seraphim Station while we're headed up. Am I decoupled? I really can't tell. I think I am. It's not letting me set my cruise. Oh, geez. Whoopsies. Did not mean to do that yet. Let's close that back up. There we go. Antares is in game too. Cool, 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 cool. Look at this. Literally the ship transforms as you fly it. That's crazy. Does that affect wind resistance? I imagine it probably does once control surface is in game. With all the info out there, you can only scam yourself getting this game. Yeah, I mean, buy what works for you. Oh, I see they changed cruise control to Alt plus C. There we go. I think I missed a comment back there about the moving. Oh yeah. Yeah. Like that's a really big thing for us. Me and Mrs. Tomato are super concerned. Like we want to have our kids able to experience both of our cultures, learn both of our languages, use them both the same ways. Like there's so much power in knowing multiple cultures and different approaches to life. I mean, the difference in terms of like, I can literally look outside at a castle on this hill out here that's been around for like 2,000 years. I can look at the cave is down the street from us where supposedly Hercules fought Cerberus in Greek mythology. Or I can go home to my hometown where our city is less than 80 years old. And like getting that kind of diversity and perspective, I think is really cool. Like I can't wait for us to have a kid that can experience that. So that is a big part of wanting to go back and forth as well. Mrs. T is indeed Turkish, yes. Hey, did they change up the space dust? It seems a little bit more dusty. The A1 Spirit is not in the PTU yet. That'll be coming in a later patch. 3.20.x of some sort. So here we have Seraphim Station, the new cargo port for Crusader. Probably the busiest, one of the busiest ports in the system, I would imagine. It's a very, very popular tourist spot and also the shipping hub for Crusader Industries, who needs a lot of materials to make ships. Although right now they seem to be more of a port of missiles for some reason. They're just firing off missiles in some direction, somewhere. So now that we are here, that gives us a little bit more space to extend our ship and see. Oops, nope. And see what's actually in the back. Very impressive. Okay. Long live PO. Yeah, we're gonna have probably an anti Seraphim Station faction in the community for a while. You'd consider dropping Spanish to take Turkish about a year ago because of this. Makes you wonder if it's one of the oldest remnants of the original Indo-European languages. Well, it's got an interesting history in how it changed over to a Latin alphabet about 100 years ago, with the forming of the Turkish Republic. Just the history of this place is insane. It's very cool. It's interesting. And the language itself is super straightforward. Every letter has a single sound phonetically, so it gets super easy to read. Yeah, and it's got some quirks to it that I think make it very unique and cool. Are there no other entrances into this ship? I want to go back. I think there was another elevator. Let's see if that works. This hallway's a lot longer now. Want to know if you can fold up the spines with an SCU that still fits inside the array? Oh, like a 1 SCU box or something? PTU is grayed out for you on RSI for you. What is up with that? It might not, it's not open to everybody at this point. Do I think Starfield has a shot at being better than this game? I don't think that they're really gonna be compared like that, to be honest. I did put out a video about this last week, if you want to check that out. Oh, is this an exit elevator? Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I guess you would probably want a ground departure area. I guess let's look at the outside of the ship. Ah! Yeah, the letter C actually makes a J sound in Turkish. J. And then you have another C with an accent on it that makes a ch sound. And then obviously the sound for C, k, comes from the K. A lot easier to learn than English. All right. So, we've got these. Wow, there's a lot of detail here. I guess these are like gravity plates that on the other side will hold down your boxes for storage. 32 SCU boxes. And we've got a bunch of them. Does anybody know how many 32 SCU boxes this thing holds in the game? It's the whole J. Yeah, basically. Pemakalia is the place where they have the mineral salt pools on the side of the mountain overlooking a valley. Yeah, a lot of very beautiful and interesting places like that here too. So 4 of them. Oh wow, 4 of them. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I see. 8 pads. Man, I thought it was 2 on each pad. So it's... Right, it can hold smaller boxes. But overall... How many 32 SCU ones? Are you saying 24? I just don't have a sense of the scale here. I haven't even seen a 32 SCU box yet. I guess that's what we should go grab from the station. See how they load up on here. Maybe grab a tractor beam as well. 72 32 SCU boxes. They start stacking on the inside pads first. Oh. Holy crap, this thing can carry a lot of stuff. Insane. Like, I've covered the ship in terms of numbers, but actually getting out in front of it and looking at all this stuff. Alright, so we've got another little entrance here. This is an interestingly placed entrance. And here's the back of the ship. Oh, here's a suit locker for another engineer. Maybe the same engineer. I would assume this kind of ship probably wants 2 engineers on board. Yeah, I really like this engineering area. With the elevator in the ship, it's real. Whoa, that was fast. It's pretty cool. Let's see component access. Wow, that's a fast elevator. Got your ladders. You're in group 4 for the PTU now. What happened? Take a few months off SCU and this. Yeah, they changed up the way the waves work to much displeasure. So this is another EVA entrance, it looks like. They're saying escape pod. Definitely looks like EVA entrance. Oh, nope, it is an escape pod. Okay, so this is like you got your rear engineer and you got your front engineer. And here's your escape pod for the rear engineer. Got a battery component bay. Batteries are part of the engineering gameplay. We haven't really seen too much of in ships before now. Got your cooler. Very large cooler. Another cooler. It's interesting that this is your engineering area, but you've also got plenty of components in the front. I guess that's why they have a space for 2 engineers, because running back and forth between the front and the back half of the ship might be a bit much. What's this, power plant? This is jump drive. And these are the kinds of things that you'll be able to lock for only your engineer to access, so anybody else can't actually open these. You think both are for the same engineer? Maybe, yeah. Although I guess you could technically take advantage of having 2, given you have escape pods and suit lockers for both. You're just missing the bed. Got the shield generator here. I guess this is the second shield generator. And nothing over here, it seems. Maybe there will be a relay over here or something. Guessing there must be relays in here somewhere. This is your engineering component compartment. Let's continue down. Oh, you can make really cool cinematics. The machinima that's going to come out of ships like this, once this game is stable, oh my gosh. I'd like to be a part of something like that. Looks like fuel cutoffs for the big engines. Ain't nobody better be cutting off my fuel. Alright, let me turn down the music so we can hear this ambiance. Panel, I'm guessing this is a relay. Gotta be, right? We've barely seen any. Fire extinguisher spot for fire extinguishing gameplay. Looks like an engineering access port. A computer electronics show, or consumer electronics show, apparently takes place here. Lots of sounds in this ship. Ooh. Ooh, that looks cool. What might these be? Power plant? Wow. This kind of reminds me of what we see in the Hammerhead. You're part of some Star Citizen RP. It's fun. That's pretty cool. Honestly, this is going to be a great game for role-playing. I will definitely get into that when I don't have to break my character every 5 minutes because a glitch happens. Engines? Yeah, I think they might be the power plant. Because... what else is going to be that bright and sparkly? Tunnel access. Okay, so this is the door that doesn't work from the... ah! No wonder. It looks like I can go out that way. But I don't know if I should even test that. It's clearly broken. But this is the only way to and from the front and back of the ship. Let's pass through and see if we can get some cargo. Hey, look at that. Hey, we fixed it. What? Okay, cool. Just a visual glitch. They love that stuff, don't they? Scaring us. Scaring us to bits. Let me close my door real quick. Rock Rover Expeditionary Force. Sadly, it consists of you and 6 voice attack packs. Sounds like my old friend get-togethers. Back when I was a kid. Me and the 4 recordings of my last 4 sessions. Okay. Let's see if we can get docked to this station. And load up with some cargo and see what that looks like. Are they trying to tell me to land in that hangar? Because that seems unlikely. I don't know if something like this is going to fit in there. Is it? Let's see. You wear uniforms and stuff? We do that in my org, but we end up usually talking about not RP stuff. Oh yeah, we've got space. But how deep is this hangar? Hard to tell since there's no lighting. But it looks like we... yeah, it looks like we can fit in here. Oh wow, we got tons of space. Yeah, this is a big hangar. Okay, cool. There we go. Just the tip. Hey, Johnny, thank you for the super chat. Can I take a moment to see if you can get a Fury to stick to a loading arm? Any other ship for that matter, you were able to dock arrows on a Starfarer. Sure. Yeah, I mean, I think I can do that. Once we get some cargo going out there, I can see if I could do that real quick. And then I'm actually going to hop into Arena Commander to give that a little looky before we wrap up today. Whee! Sorry, character. Just broke his ankles. Casual breaking of the ankles. Gamers do love their innuendos. We're a creative bunch. Oh, I hope this is working.
Initiating ship storage procedure.
That's not necessary.
Vacate the area.
Why are you storing my
Thank you
ship?
for your cooperation.
Don't store my ship.
Right, fine. Locking down your vehicle now.
Hey, that sounded like a new ATC voice, but like you guys really didn't need to lock my ship up. I just got here. Okay. So I apparently need to first go to the cargo deck, right? But I can't. Yeah, I need to go to the cargo deck, order the cargo, and then go get the ship and fly it to a certain spot. That's what it sounds like. Obviously not the ideal way to do this, and is going to be temporary. Actually, is it the administrative office that I need to go to get cargo? I actually have never hauled cargo out of a station before. Yeah, this is normal stuff. Is there like a commodity kiosk up here somewhere? Admin office. Okay. Back to the admin office then. Am I going to play or stream Starfield? Yes. Yes, I am. Currently playing it in my off time. Off time. It's not really off time, I guess. Review time. And to the Galleria. I can't answer any questions about it or my experiences of it, unfortunately. Really, the only thing I can say is that I'm playing it right now. I actually made a tweet earlier today and then felt I needed to delete it because it kind of sort of slightly shared my opinion of it in that I said I was I'm not even going to repeat it because I'm on camera. But yeah, you got to be very careful about what you're saying, especially with a company as big as the Bethesda, because if you end up doing the wrong things with the information that you have, obviously they won't work with you anymore in the future, and other companies might not. All right, commodities. Select location. Miss Croncy. I'm not going to fill up all the way because I do want to see what happens when you have a not perfect amount of cargo that you're trying to load in. Subcategory. Ooh, cargo subcategories is interesting. I feel like that kind of hints at the ability to load stuff into both your cargo bay or maybe into a secondary location for like specific commodities like fuel and water and stuff. Can't even say if it's good or not. That's whack. I mean, that's, yeah, if you agree to a contract saying I will not talk about these things. Imagine if everybody just came out and said they didn't like the game. That would tank sales and get people in a lot of trouble. Yo, 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 Dakota. Thank you for the raid. Appreciate you. Hello, Foxy Raid. Hello, folks. How y'all doing today? Welcome into the stream where we test things that are trying not to be broken. All right, we're going to fill up, let's say most of the ship. Actually, I'm going to fill up with a couple different things just to see how that looks. How much 3.20 have I played? This is like the first I've been playing of it. Helium. Did we have helium and hydrogen before? Yo, these are like actual commodities. This is looking much better than it did a year ago. Let's grab some helium. New for the whole sea. Can you pick this stuff up with other ships or just the whole sea? We'll throw some cargo in there or some copper in there as well. And how about a little bit of hydrogen? No, yes, maybe. Thank you, Vasten. I feel much more confident now. Can probably mine hydrogen with the prospector or something from ice. I think I heard something like that from leaks or something. Definitely good to see stuff like that. Ice and water and hydrogen would be very, very common kinds of materials that we would want to see able to be both extracted and also sold and traded by players. That's like, you don't just want to be carrying and shipping and selling stuff that doesn't have an actual place in the game. You want stuff that has value, stuff that outposts and space stations literally need to function. Because when you're doing those things, you want to feel like you're being a part of that process of keeping those things functioning, you know? Yeah, no. Alright, so let's pull the whole sea out again now.
Vehicle selected.
You always thought NDA stood for No Dogs Allowed? That's how I used to use it. No Dogs Allowed and never die always. To docking port 2 we go. $144.30 SCU boxes. That's nuts. Probably can buy them, but it won't be as profitable since they are low cost but high volume. Fair. Oh yeah, hydrogen's gonna be super important. For like everything. You know. Like H as they say. No donuts allowed, JB2. You better watch it. Alright, get in the seats and we'll take off from here. Dude, somebody's getting lit.
Hello, how can Miss help you today?
Hello. Nude delicatessens available. I'm not even gonna try to know what that means.
Systems off.
Systems on. Whoa. All right, now where are we picking up?
Q, and please visit again.
Thanks for contacting cargo services.
This thing turns really quickly. I will fly around these rings. I don't trust them. Okay, so where are we going to load up? Yeah, cargo will be forfeit if I leave the area, right? So I guess first let's expand out. Man, how crazy that they actually made this. Y'all are wild. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to stop moving. This thing just drifts. Okay, so I have to specifically call on the cargo deck. Cargo.
For contacting cargo services, checking for an open slot. Okay, here's your deck assignment.
All right. You gonna give me any, like, no indicator? Oh. There we are. This is not in-game music. This is my own. It's good music, though. I like it. This is like such nice looking UI. It's flashing.
I've got you into the loading area. Get into place and we'll start loading.
All right, load me up. Am I not all the way in?
Being transferred.
Hey, there it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Now, let's see if I can get out of my seat and just peruse the ship while it's getting loaded up. That should be how it works. In fact, are there any exterior windows I can look at? I don't think there were. Okay, so those are different commodities for sure. Looks like we've got a 8 SCU box down there with a 4 SCU box. We've got a 16 SCU box there, maybe, with a couple 4s. Let's go out there. What am I doing? Wow! Jesus.
Whoa, got an issue. Double check your position and that the loading area is clear.
Really? 'Cause I'm here? Ah. Fine, hold on. It's kind of lame, lady. You good? We good?
Cargo's being transferred.
All right. All right. Let's see if we can make it to the rear area. Yeah, this ship is going to be a money maker. But hopefully, you know...
Got an error, so I'm stopping the transfer. Make sure you're in the right position and the area's clear so we can keep going.
I'm inside the ship still. Come on. Is it seriously a problem I'm back here? It's just a glitch? Alright, I guess I just need to stay up near the front. They won't nerf it. They just gotta balance the supply, demand, and danger of actually hauling this much stuff around, you know? There's like a lot of things to counteract a ship like this transferring cargo that they'll need to work at. Maybe there's somebody else outside the ship. Because it sounds like she's not starting the transfer back up. Ma'am? Okay. Yeah, that seems like it would be a glitch. I can't imagine they're going to require the pilot to just stay in the seat whenever the cargo's getting loaded. That would be ridiculous. Maybe a crook mission generates when you have a lot of cargo. Or players are just meant to figure that stuff out on their own. Get the data. Do the scanning. Stock the trade routes. Set up interdiction. Oh, so they double stack the crates. Interesting. Wow, that's a lot of cargo. Holy crap. Oh my gosh. That's an insane amount of stuff. The bumps on the large containers make them look like Legos. Oh yeah. Fit together, snap in place. Yeah, so I like that you can tell the difference between certain commodities. You can tell the difference between certain sizes. It's good. What'll be the real interesting part, though, is whether or not the trade is there. And that's probably not something that we're going to know until we go live. And maybe even not even until after this update. I'm glad that the economy has kind of been shifted for more capacity so that stuff like this can actually happen. But we're going to have to do a lot of testing on this over the next month. Can it transport refined quantanium? Ah, that's a good question. I'm kind of doubting it. Take a full load in Atmo and see how it flies. Well, I don't have too much longer. I was going to try and put the Fury on there, but I actually just now realizing that they didn't leave any spots actually open. The goal was to have an open sections.
Landing systems are taking control of your vehicle.
All right. Relax. I don't have time to do both. But I guess I can't really do the Fury. They took all my boxes, all my space. Whoa. There's probably going to be a specialty ship for Quantanium. A refinery ship would definitely be able to carry it. I guess why don't we transport this and sell, since I'm running a little bit low on time. Does anybody know if you can sell down an Orison? Has anybody seen that be tested? Or anything like that? So I don't have a tractor beam tool. Actually, I might. Hold on. Oh, no. I don't have any of my stuff up here. Of course. You can only sell at big stations. Okay, so even if they have the infrastructure for the ship, they don't have it for the selling. Let's see if I can close it up. Nope, I don't even think it tries to. No. It won't close if there's cargo on board. Let's take it down at Atmo then, and see how it flies. I don't think that the cargo makes a difference with the flight yet, but we can still check it out. See for ourselves. This seems like a glitch. That you have to jump to Crusader before you can see the landing zone. That's no good. What's up, Polite Gaming? Where is it taking me? What? Was that necessary? We need landing pads like in PO. Oh, pad ramming. Hey, Aaliyah and Jotun, thank you for the sub, by the way. 29 freaking months. Sorry I missed that earlier. Appreciate you, though. Welcome back. Good to be back to streaming and seeing you guys in chat. Hope you've been having a lovely week. Alright, let's see what happens. Get the Fs ready. Who's already seen this happen? Who's seen this episode before? Alright, not gonna lie, when there is a sunset here, this song really fits the vibe of this city. A little endearing. The arrangement is due to I loaded things in weirdly. I don't know why they put things where they decide to. Maybe there's some kind of a logic to it, but I am not aware. Yeah, the Starfarer will have a refinery on board, and since it has fuel pods, I think it's safe to assume it should be able to carry refined quantanium, but we don't know for sure yet. I don't think. Imagine being down on the city surface down here and just like seeing this massive freighter coming in. Bunch of cargo. God, I can't wait for this game to be something stable and relatively feature complete. I mean, look at it. Like you can't match this. You can, but it just take a lot of time. A lot of time and money. Oh, I'm not trying to sell down here. We're just flying. We're just testing. Yeah, actually, it still feels very maneuverable. So I don't think the cargo is really affecting the flight model just yet. But maybe. We'll see how long it takes for me to get back out of the atmosphere. Like, what is this? Come on, frame rate. What is that sound? No effects to my speed. We are flying A-OK. Let's come to a complete stop and see if I start falling. I am indeed falling. Strafing up is not currently doing anything to help. So yeah, it looks like you can't... Let's see. Okay, with boost, you can strafe up. No, I don't believe this ship has any VTOL functionality. Just some maneuvering thrusters on the side there. Okay, it looks like I'm stationary here. Huh. Wait, there might be VTOL. What's going on here? There's something VTOL related. Because it does stop me from falling. Is it on the back of the thrusters right there? Let's see. No. Oh, it literally, is it just those front thrusters? Is that it? If I press the VTOL button, they turn off. Yeah, see there's a little door there. Press it again. They turn on. Let's see, is there anything back here? No, those thrusters stay on no matter what. I think it's literally just those thrusters in the front that change the ability for it to... What the... Did somebody just fly past us? Okay, so like, I don't know. I hope we can learn a little bit more about that. Oh, there's an Avenger flying around. Tower got buzzed. Oh, I'm definitely falling fast now. Alright, let's see what the climb is like. This thing can move. Good for them. Good for Misk putting those thrusters on here. How do you land and sell cargo? You can only sell at space stations. You gotta dock. You buck up a full load and see if that won't drop you. I will do that in the next one. I do want to get a chance to load into Arena Commander real quick before I go. Got about 20 minutes left here. There's a keybind for jettison cargo. Oh my god, imagine. That better be a difficult keybind to hit. Imagine accidentally just dumping all of the cargo off of a hull C. That would ruin so many people's days. Flight out will be rest of the stream. I don't know, I'm moving. I'm getting there. We're already almost at 100K. We are moving kind of slow. Look at that. We can jump. That's really not that far you have to go. This ship moves in atmosphere. They're probably going to have to, or I guess whenever the heat system kicks in, it'll be a lot different. All right, what is my jettison cargo keybind? Tomatoes don't taste that good. I'm allergic to tomatoes. Don't worry. You're okay. We appreciate those who don't eat us regularly. Alt J. Alright, let's see if that does it. No. You have to set it up? Alright, let me set it up real quick. I do want to see what that looks like. Cockpit? Wow, there's a lot of MFD controls. Were these here before? Focus on MFD and stuff? Reminds me of Elite Dangerous. Vehicle... ground vehicle general... Oh boy, give me a second. Into these. Drop item? No. This is really epic music for looking for key bindings. Flight movement?
There he is!
There he is. Space brake, target velocity, VTOL. Retract configuration, expand configuration. Cycle configuration. Cycle master mode. Request jump, engage jump. There are a lot of new key bindings here. Eject? No. Call to prayer, yeah. I don't know where this would be. Turret advance, missiles, power triangle, flight power. Am I like, is the ship falling? No, we're doing okay. Cockpit? Port locks. Self-destruct. There's always that. Free look. Pitch up, pitch down. Yaw, roll. Strafe, throttle. Decoupled boost acceleration limiter. G-force safety. Lock pitch. Toggle VTOL. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this is in the game yet. for jettison cargo, or maybe they took it out briefly. No longer Alt J. And I don't know where it would be. Thrusters, throttle, pitch ladder, stopwatch, general round vehicle. Might be out of luck on this one, folks. That's too bad. I was kind of looking forward to seeing the boxes rain from the sky. But yeah, this thing is very maneuverable. I guess probably what's going to end up happening is the heat system and control surfaces are going to be a big part of limiting how these ships move. Right now they're moving kind of unencumbered because those systems aren't in, so I wouldn't really judge the ability of this. I mean, look at this. It's definitely rolling slower than it did without the cargo. But in terms of pitch and yaw, this thing can move, and that's probably not going to be the same. Check cockpit with F. Let's see. Pin target, cycle, sub-target, weapon nav, HUD, shield, engines. Pit scan, hail. No, landing gear doors, exit, proximity coupled, G-safe. Nah, I don't think we've got anything for this. I think they saw it coming, and they were like, we're not going to let them drop out all that stuff onto people's faces. Instead, let's hop off real quick and see what Arena Commander looks like. My camera froze. Why did my camera freeze? Weird. But okay. There we go. Just tech things. Nihoriel, catch you later. Thanks for hanging out. Alright, I really want to get a chance to try out, what's it called? I want to try out Arena Commander real quick. Oh, that just kicks you right into it. That's not even like... Huh. 3.20 patch notes. They don't even have a loading screen for it yet. They're just like, okay, you're in. Master modes, free fly. Let's give this a go. Yeah, I tried left alt plus J, but it didn't seem to work. Okay. Deploy. Oh, there's already people playing in here. Okay, so this is a place where we can test out master modes. Looks like people are mostly fighting. So we've got nav mode here, which took a while to load up. But now we can go fast. Let's see what happens if I switch out of nav mode. Okay, it dropped me down. You got a whole quantum travel group, it looks like, over there on the side. I'm about to get kicked out of this. You got like a quantum travel group over here. It shows the required fuel, it shows the route, calibration. But it looks like you can't actually quantum jump in this. Wow, that really slows you down fast. Back in SCM. Okay, back up to nav mode. Shields are slowly decreased. But it locks your speed. So it doesn't let you change your speed until nav mode is complete, which means your shields are going to be down by the time you can actually start speeding up. Turn it off, and your shields get back up pretty quickly. But you can't switch back halfway through. You have to wait for it to finish its transition, and then you can switch over. And even then... Okay, so you can boost to get up to speed right away. So that's good to know. If you've got boost on you, you don't necessarily have to wait. And it looks like you can still use boost while you're transferring out of the mode as well. And you black out. YouTube down? YouTube down. How about Twitch? YouTube's still here. Okay. SCM mode. So you can use boost in SCM mode. So yeah, I think with the ability to use boost, at least, you're not a sitting duck. But that means that they can use boost as well. Like if somebody's chasing you and you're trying to get out, they'll also be able to use boost. And I blacked out. Okay. That was just a little... I just wanted to take a quick look at how Master Modes was running. Let's check out, though, FPS. I want to see how FPS is playing. And I want to make sure that is... Here we are. Gun Rush. Let's give this a go. Yeah, boost in SCM takes you into the red. But only to the SCM cap. Okay, I see. So the SCM cap is still slower than your total navigation mode cap. Good to know. Alright. It seems promising. Ouch. I died already. Yeah, very quick loading into games. That's pretty nice. It is still a little bit, like... I don't know, like... slow, but I think that might be engine slow. Oh my...
Match over.
Oh,
Match
jeez.
lost.
I was the last kill. That's good. It does feel a little slow, but I think that's more the engine than any sort of instability and stuff. Alright, I don't want to hear your breathing. Searching for match, gotcha. One time hero on fire, thanks for becoming a member over on YouTube. Hope you've been liking the streams and the vids. Check out the exclusive videos we got up for y'all. If you haven't already, becoming a supporter on YouTube gets you access to like 5 or 6 different videos over the last year I've put out. Blackest Master Modes is the new method of controlling how your ship flies. So you can switch between Master Modes, either to have access to higher speeds or to have access to more systems and combat capabilities. Is the Master Modes, is the SCM cap the same for every ship, 550? Or does that change for each ship? Let's try leaving and loading back in. Lovely content. Watch pretty much everything I put out while you're working. Well, I'm glad you like it. Do you follow any other games besides Star Citizen? Oh, I guess we wouldn't know since Gladius is the only ship with Master Modes currently working, huh? Man, I am not good at aiming in this game. I should probably play more to the way that this gun works. Instead of just sprinting around, I should probably have some cover. And here I go sprinting around again. Nice. Okay, there we go. That's... love that. No, God, I don't even know where I am now. Ouch. Just trying to get over here. Ow, 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 ow. Alright, we're headed down there. Nope. There we go. Okay, sure. Starfield, you have me so ready for it, really, though. Hey, I'm excited to make some Starfield content. Hello, Ricky. How you doing? I'm clearly not doing well, since I've only gotten 1 kill in this. But I can confirm, this actually doesn't feel bad. What I want to do now is get an Xbox controller and see how this feels on controller, because I don't know how to judge an FPS shooter through mouse and keyboard. I don't really play them like that too often. Ah! Right now all ships have different STM speeds. That will not change in master modes. Cool. Recently found you from your deep dive into the economy. Such a well-researched video. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Mission Control. Glad you liked it. I try to do those for all the major parts of the game. So that's actually my second channel that you saw. There are several deep dives on there. I actually just released another one today about Pyro, if you want to check back on that. But I also do more kind of prepared, formatted content on my main channel, which is just called Space Tomato. Ah! Somebody took my kill. Okay. Oh, is it click to aim instead of hold to aim? Is that what's messing me up? Whoa! Yeah, the economy stuff is very exciting. That economy could be great. But as of now, it has just been an idea of great. I look forward to seeing what they do with it, though, in the coming year or two. Haha! Nice. I stole someone else's kill. Oh! Oh! I'm still alive. Okay. Well. Only content creator I've seen even mention the quantum system in any depth at all. It is, honestly, a lot of people kind of mock it because we've been waiting for it for so long, but there's a lot of good info out there about it, and it's going to be relevant very fast. It's going to go from nobody really caring much about it to driving the entire game pretty quickly, I think. Especially with the virtual AI coming out with the bounty hunting, that's going to be a really big change to the game. And it's going to come kind of out of nowhere. Because they haven't talked about it at all for quite a while. And we know Bounty Hunting V2 is not too far off now. Well, we don't know. We assume, we hope, as with many things Star Citizen. Dang, they got to the final kill pretty quick. Or I guess I joined this game partway through.
Match over.
Aye.
Match lost.
Anyone else watching a slideshow? Oh, is it really? Is it bad? Is my internet not doing well? Oh yeah, I was dropping frames for a while there. Sorry about that. Anthro, thank you for the sub. Appreciate you on the Prime. Hope you've been enjoying the stream, buddy. But with that, folks, that about does it for me. I've got dinner to attend with the fam downstairs. We're going to head down to the coast to have some fish. So, thank you all for joining me today for a nice talk with Croncy about Star Citizen 3.20 coming out. A little preview of the new features, the ship, the cargo, arena commander, master modes. I will be doing this much more in depth over the next couple weeks now. This week, yeah, I'll be doing this stuff on stream this week. Next week, I will probably be streaming quite a bit of Starfield as it'll be coming out, and I've got a lot of stuff to do for my review at the end of the month. But we'll be switching back and forth throughout the month. And like I said, I am heading back to the States in kind of mid or early September. So I'll be taking a break around then, but expect just a lot of combined content. We'll probably do like half stream with Star Citizen, half stream with Starfield. I will have videos coming out about both on both the first and second channel. And we'll be hosting giveaways as always with ships for Star Citizen and maybe a game giveaway for Starfield if I can get Bethesda to pitch it. But we'll see. Either way, folks, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've all had a good time. Appreciate you all. Appreciate you just being here and watching. If you don't get an update from Tony Z this year, you're going to riot. We're all going to riot, Mission. We are all going to riot. I do think that we are in store for something, though. That's something I'm looking to CitizenCon for an update on. We'll see. Spoiler-free Starfield. I'm going to do my best to be spoiler-free. My first impressions will be light spoilers. Some early game things like what planet you might go to, but nothing story-related. My review will be a little bit light on spoilers, but that won't be coming out for another month, so you'll have plenty of time before that comes out. It'll be more of like a, hey, this is kind of what's going on currently, or this is what it's like after a month of play. So, as always, folks, appreciate y'all. Thanks for being here. I hope you enjoyed. I will catch you next time, which is tomorrow, luckily, as we're back for good. And, cheers, y'all. Have a good day. Bye.